All right, hello, welcome. Sunday Speedrunner Spotlight, episode 37. The number is large. It's kind of weird, but here we are. Today we're talking about not being able to see. And who better to have than Bubzia, who I think has like the most amount of runs on the blindfolded, like there's a whole blindfolded speedrun website, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I should be pretty much up there, yeah.
yeah, so you should know what you're doing. So, should be good to talk about. So,
Mhm.
how you doing? Welcome.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me here. Definitely really excited to talk a bit about my blindfolded runs and stuff.
Yep.
Maybe we can share some light into them.
Shed some light into the darkness that is not being able to
Yeah,
see. Yeah, I understand.
exactly.
Well, let's start from the beginning then. Did you start with blindfolded speedrunning?
Yeah, actually, like I did before I even did visual speedruns, I did blindfolded first, basically, which is quite the interesting path, I think. Like, not many do that because usually people just like have a main speed game they have that they really like or like are good at, and then they want to blindfold it as an like extra challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I personally kind of started out blindfolded right away, which yeah is not the smartest thing to do. Honestly, it's much better if you have experience in the game. But
Eh, who cares?
yeah, who cares?
It's
Yeah,
fine. I'm sure it's fine. So,
yeah.
what game did you start with?
It was SM64, Super Mario 64. Um, it wasn't like long time ago at this point. Damn, it's already close to 2024. It's been like in 2020, 2017, I think I
Mm,
started. Um, just like did some single stars, trying to figure out if I can grab like, okay, can I do this star? Can I do this star? And then I just like collected a few. And after a while, I had like around like 30 stars or something that I did blindfolded individually. And since there was not a single blindfolded speedrun yet of SM64 back then, I was like getting the idea maybe a whole 16 star run is possible. And that's kind of how the journey started for me.
yeah, makes sense. So, you've been doing Mario 64 this whole time then?
Yeah, basically, I never could get away from it. It's too much of an addiction.
Yeah, I mean, it is a fun game. It's
Yeah,
just got to be completely different when you can't see the thing.
yeah, like it's very fascinating to me too because like I come because I do many games besides Mario too, but I always keep coming back to SM64. And it's not even just because it's like the most popular speed game out there or something. It's more like there is so much the movement is so well suited for blindfolded in my opinion, and you can like optimize it so much in so many different ways that it just keeps being interesting. Like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, so how long did it take to finish the first like full run through?
The first, yeah, that's actually a good question. So I remember, like it's pretty long time ago, so I speak now like from kind of feeling, but I do remember it being multiple months of routing for sure.
Hmm.
Like I started out, as I said, with like single stars, and um, I believe the journey to get like around 30 stars individually took like a month or something. It wasn't too long. Then figuring out the Bowser stages, especially, and all the stuff that is required for 16 star, that took quite a long time, like multiple months, especially since I also didn't have any prior experience in like blindfolded speedrunning or speedrunning in like general. So I think that was like another 3, 4, 5 months maybe. And I think this whole project, the first blindfolded 16 star run, was like a half year kind of uh, thing that I worked on.
Yeah, I
I
mean
think that's like the
that's a
yeah.
long time.
Yeah, for sure. Blindfolded runs take incredibly big amounts of time. Like even nowadays, when I have more experience in them, it's just a very time consuming hobby, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean makes sense, I guess, but
Yeah,
it's a lot to memorize.
yeah, and figuring out like consistent and fast routes at the same time, and like you need to. somehow brute force like specific ways of finding these threads. And there is like not much resources out there yet, because if you go and want to learn a new speedrun of, I don't know, even now Mario Wonder is out for 4 days, you can hit up YouTube tutorial, I don't know, World 1, World 2, and you can speedrun tomorrow. um, but in blindfolded you need to like kind of figure it out all on your own, because there is just not much like out there to base stuff on.
Hmm.
And especially back in the days in like 2017, there was like you couldn't even go to like other speedrunners who did blindfolded stuff, because there just weren't that many. Nowadays we have like, yeah, as you said earlier, like a website, we have a Discord with like community resources with like different techniques and stuff. So nowadays I think it's a bit better to get into. But yeah, back in the days it was pretty like empty there.
Hmm. So that was the first like blindfolded speedrun you finished, was 16 star Mario 64.
Yes,
Do you
yes,
remember like
exactly.
around what time it was?
um it was 3 hours and 11 minutes,
Wow.
like the first 16-star run. Yeah. Nowadays we can
It has
finish it
come a
within
long
20.
way.
Yeah, yeah, it really has.
That is wild.
Yeah. No, the strats back then were really rough. Like I remember in like Bowser, in the second Bowser stage, for example, I had like a strat which just literally was like punch, I don't know, 65 times or something, and there was just Mario so huh, 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 and like it took like 10 minutes to just move this tiny bit with these punches. And yeah, nowadays we just absolutely speed through these stages with beat counts and all.
Wow. I'm just trying to process that amount of time
Yeah.
saved. That's so
Yeah,
much.
no, it really has come a long way. Like nowadays, I mean, like a 22-minute time that is the world record right now in 16 star is like a good time visually. Like
Hmm.
not a very good time, but like I beat many beginners on the leaderboard, I think, with that. So like it's crazy how the improvements came in for sure.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah, so what like led to how fast it is now? Like what were the big was like the first
Yeah.
completed run like just full of mistakes, or was it just pure like optimization of being able to do stuff without seeing and figuring out strats for that?
Yeah, it had multiple aspects to it. Once that you said, like it had many mistakes for sure, because it was the first completion. I think the second Bowser stage, Fire Sea, took 40 minutes, like
Mm.
alone, just the one stage. For example, I died like a billion times there, because back in the days it was just so difficult to go through. There are like cycles you need to catch, and we did not have any ways to count these cycles back then. Um, which brings me to my next point, which is like um, techniques. Like I literally didn't have knowledge of techniques that we use nowadays. For example, beat counting, what I said earlier too. Because now we use like the BGM and basically transform the game into like a rhythm game, and just like count the background music in like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then based off of these counts we press inputs. So it's really basically a rhythm game. And that with that we can achieve like movement that is basically as fluent as in visual. And yeah, even other things like in my first run I played on emulator with an Xbox 360 controller,
Also no
which
notches.
I yes, I
Mm.
did not use notches. Like I unthinkable now. Like how did I recently rewatched it, I think like a year ago or so, and I was watching this run and I was mind blown. Like how did I even manage to achieve this? Like super crazy.
Yeah,
So
the long time's
yeah,
starting to make a lot more sense now.
yeah. It was a very rough run, and honestly, a miracle that it finished at all. In my opinion.
Yeah, I'm honestly more impressed with that than modern blindfold speedruns.
Yeah, honestly, like really, I think that like rewatching that thing was like such a pleasure, because I did like so crazy strats that like nowadays I would absolutely not even consider. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty fun. And then yeah, the last point, of course, sheer optimizations and work put in. Like I literally grind, or like I did grind many stars and stages and optimize them, found new strats like over and over again over the years. Um, yeah, even and it just keeps coming. Like you would think it's like already like peak, but now it just it gets into like Mario Bros kind of level, like where we don't search for, I don't know, 10-second time saves, but we search for 1 second time saves, or like half a second time save. 16 star is huge at this point. So like we really
Mario
go into
One's
like the
one
detail.
frame time saves. That's what
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all about.
exactly. Yeah. Like it really gets like smaller and smaller at this point, and I think that is also just a big reason why it got like so low now.
Mhm. So it's
Yeah.
at 22 minutes now.
Yes, 22 minutes and 22 seconds exactly.
Well, that's a fun
And
number.
like, yeah. And like the goal, we already like I already have a theoretical route, because my next goal will be a sub 20.
Oh
That will be
my.
like the final 16-star blindfolded goal, I think. Um and yeah, we will use like LBLJ and all these crazy techniques that you would only see ever in visual speedruns, really. So there is still room to improve, but it's now starting to get really, really, really painful. Like, yeah, I think the next few minute barriers will be absolutely pain at this point.
I can't even imagine a sub 20 blindfolded.
Yeah,
That
it would be huge. Like sub 20 would be absolutely huge. That would be an insane time.
yeah, like you're saying, like it seems so optimized, but then that's like over 2 minutes cut off from that.
Yes, yes. It's mostly due to the new route, like because the entire route would change.
Hmm.
Um, like the current route that I achieved the world record on, I think the sum of best would be somewhere around a low 21.
Hmm.
So it's also crazy that like blindfolded you can play within like 1 minute of your sum of best at this point, like with so much RNG and stuff going on.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the biggest time save will come from a new route where we get, yeah, LBRJ, we do Bowser 1 red coins,
Mm.
um, and then do many stars in basement instead of in the lobby, for example.
So the
But
like new
yeah,
route and time save is just like normal 16 even, you do the normal route and then you do
yeah,
the LBLJ routes kind of the same day.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. There's still a few things that we consider, because like we can do blindfolded owless, for example. It's an
Wow.
IL strat though. It's like extremely precise and random with the wall kick. So if that would be somehow more consistent, we could skip some stars and worms, because we would not need to do like long stars like the boss fight to
Mm.
unlock the owl, and that would still be like one push that makes the sub 20 more possible right now, but it's just not quite there yet. I don't think Owlus will be doable in runs yet, for sure.
Can't
So
even do owlless with my eyes open, man.
yeah, it's a tricky trick for sure.
I'd say. So, wow. It's crazy how far it's come.
Oh yeah,
So,
low 20 with the ultra, true. Yeah.
oh, okay.
That is true. Yeah, the sum of best right now with this rod is like a 20 something, I believe.
Got it.
And then the new route would save around 50 seconds if optimally performed, so that would kind of give us the chance for a sub 20. Yeah.
In the grand scheme of things, that doesn't seem like a ton.
No. It will be really tight. If with the new route even the sub 20 will be achieved, it will be very close to sum of best. Like we would have like a leeway of literally 1 minute or less of
Wow.
mistakes. So one
That
failed
is wild.
BLJ, instant reset.
Oh my god. I didn't even think of
Yeah,
that.
yeah. Oh yeah, and not speaking about the other like stuff that has in blindfolded, like Bowser throws,
Hmm.
because yeah, the thing with Bowser throws is even now at this point you cannot really justify a missed throw anymore. Because in blindfolded it's different. You cannot just regrab him and throw him again, but you need to restart the entire fight, which loses like a minute and a half or so.
Hmm.
So one missed throw, which is like a 2 frame window trick in blindfolded, because you need to listen for like a specific sound cue. Yeah, it's over. Like you can play perfect until the end, but it's not over until the very last jump into the star.
Hmm. So, do you do all throws now? Because I remember there's the strat where you like keep grabbing the tail and like inch
Hmm.
him close to the bomb. Do all throws now just have to be like an audio cue full speed throw?
Not yet. For the sub 20, likely we would need to do at least Bowser 1 with a throw.
Hmm.
So I have like a full spreadsheet with all the different strats, how much time and all. And I think the throw strat would save around like 4 to 5 seconds over the glitch tail grab, which isn't that much to be fair.
Mm-hmm.
Just extra. The good thing is we would do Bowser 1 like first because we do LBLJ and then go instantly to Bowser. So the reset point would be much closer if we miss. Um, but then again, we do Bowser like the first Bowser stage red coins, which is the hardest star of the entire run then. And
Mm.
if you get that and then miss a Bowser throw, you will be very sad. So yeah, it all has ups and downs somehow.
Dark World Red's the hardest?
Dark World Reds is extremely hard. Like it's not that hard to perform normally. I mean it is, but to perform it fast, blindfolded, is extremely tight. Um, because there are cycles you need to catch in both the first elevator, then the platforms that move, and
Mm-hmm.
also the platform that goes like in and out with the red coin. So we need to catch basically a very early cycle to make it even worth attempting. And even if you get hit by an amp, which are completely random, I think you can allow yourself to get hit once if you play perfectly. But if you get hit twice by an amp, which can happen, like it happens very often, then it's over. Like it's a reset. And amps
My
are
God.
completely RNG where they spawn, so it can just happen.
That is very wild. It
Yeah,
sounds
you
like
know,
torture.
yeah, 16-star sub 20 grind. I'm currently doing so many other projects. I'm just like pushing it in front of me, but the one day I will need to face it.
Yeah, I understand. Just keep pushing it away. Don't want to
Yeah,
deal with
yeah,
that. So,
yeah.
but
No, but yeah, 16 blindfolded 16 is at a very optimized stage at this point,
mhm.
which is great. But yeah,
Yeah,
not if you want to push it further down.
yeah. Once you get to the point of like, wow, this is like incredibly optimized, then it becomes less and less fun.
Yeah.
But and I can't even imagine. It's like thousands of times harder without being able to see. So,
Yeah, there's some rough stuff for sure, but I mean that's what speedrunning is all about, right? Like to push
yeah,
the limits somehow. So
of course, of course. So, speaking of pushing the limits, I assume nowadays, like when you started, you were like the first to do it. You said to
Mhm.
like really look at it, but how big is the community nowadays?
Oh, it grew a lot over the last few years. Quite incredibly much actually. I did like a presentation or like a panel at GDQ actually about it.
Hmm.
Don't know if I have the number still, but yeah, but back in 2017 we had like a Discord. I think like 7 to 10 people or something. It was just like a few of us. I think the Discord is getting close to like 1,000 people or so right now.
Wow.
Not all active runners, but we do have multiple hundred active, like not active runners, but multiple hundred different people who have completed runs, and it really grew over the past few years like exponentially. Like it got lots of exposure also through many GDQs now and through I don't know if you probably have seen it the cheetah incident in SM64.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, that popped off.
that popped really off and like honestly shout outs to that guy. I always say it like it was not cool of him, but big shout outs because he draws so much attention to the blindfolded community. um yeah, so it's really grown quite a lot.
Yeah, we should shout out Charlie Brown 64 for the video though. It was all his
Absolutely.
doing.
Yes,
We can't
absolutely.
give
That is
credit to
true.
the asshole who cheated that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that is true.
get
That is
get him
true.
out, get him out. But yeah, that was a funny situation. Like I just can't believe
Yeah.
how well that video did. Like how many
Yeah,
people were like,
it
"What?"
was super crazy.
But yeah, if that actually had a
I'm still
significant impact.
Yeah,
on
I'm
the
still
community.
like
That's
proud
cool.
that I was in that video to like this is a real example of a blindfolded runner.
That's true. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just remember seeing that back, and like even I could tell how fake it was. Like
Yeah, of course.
it's not
And like
hard
the
to
funny thing
tell.
is like his time nowadays, if you look at it, like his time is not really good. Like
It wasn't.
yeah, like we have now I think three blindfolded runners who have a better time than him, like with his faked run. So
Yeah. I have
it's
that was literally just muscle memory burned into my brain now. I use that meme way too much.
yeah, yeah. No, it is a classic at this point.
Certified Hood Classic, of course, yeah. But yeah, I'm glad that actually like gave a positive light on like true blindfold speedrunning and got people more interested. It's nice when like a shitty situation turns like at the end of it all. It becomes like a
Mhm.
actual positive for what what happened, I guess.
Yeah,
So
definitely. Like as I said, like not shout outs to him, but like he definitely did a good job.
he did a good job on what not to do, so
Yeah, exactly.
he could be trashed on by the entire
Yeah,
internet.
exactly, exactly.
I guess I can respect that. Kind of. So, going back to like the early days,
Mhm.
so you finished that first run and it was like 3 hours. So
Yeah,
did you just keep working on pushing that down, or did you try new things?
I tried new things. I was done with SM64 after that for a while.
Hmm.
Like I needed a break,
That's fair.
honestly.
Yeah, it sounds like took quite a bit of
Yeah,
time.
it was lots of work, yeah. And um no, I took like a break, and then around a year after, like another runner finished the run in sub 3 hours for the first time, like in 2 hours something. His name was Z-Surf, and he got also a sub 2 hour run actually. Like
Mm,
he got like a 158, I think, like a very high 1 hour time. So he did some optimizations while I started working on, I think I did three blindfolded runs until I came back to SM64, which was Pokemon Red any percent,
mm,
um, Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, which is like very all three games very different from SM64.
mm,
Um, but yeah, I think the next one I did was Kingdom Hearts actually, like a very long RPG, which clocked in at like 7 hours or 8 hours the first completion, I think.
mm,
But yeah, it was like it really taught me different new techniques to use as well. Like I really gained like experience with all these new genres and games. Like I started to learn how to beat count. I started to much better understand how to like manage also like stress and pace and stuff. And yeah, and Pokemon Red also, like Pokemon Red was a completely different experience again, because that really was a memory heavy run. um because yeah, if you imagine Pokemon Red, it's like a tile based game, right? Like you can press once up and you move exactly one tile up, and you could basically memorize the entire game in just numbers, like okay,
mm,
5 right, 10 up, 5 right, 4 down and stuff. And then the fights are the same. You don't memorize like what you do, you just memorize, okay, 3 times press A and that will do thunder shock or something. And then you have this 12-page document with just like raw numbers that you need to memorize. And I really didn't like that run. I really did not like it. It was much too static for me, like super too much memory heavy, and not like action, if you know what I mean, like
mhm.
SM64 or like Kingdom Hearts at this point. So I only did like 2 runs, I think, of Pokemon and then quit it too. And then I came back to SM64 with all this new knowledge, with the new techniques, and I grinded for the first sub hour time, I think. And I got it like on my first day of coming back, I think. Like I optimized the whole game, I rerouted everything, and then I started like a stream. And I think on that first stream, I got a 58-minute time. And yeah, that's how kind of how it got further. Like I literally just like learned more about blindfolded speedrunning in like other genres, kind of.
It's all thanks to those notches, right?
Yeah, and notches. Yeah, I switched to a. Actually, I'm not sure. I think the sub-hour run is still without notches.
Really?
To be quite honest, let me check that quickly. Um, because I remember the sub-hour run was still on emulator. I switched to
Mhm.
Wii VC where I use the GameCube now with notches, but I switched pretty late, I think. Hmm.
Yeah, that's very interesting if it got that low without notches.
Yeah, like it's definitely possible.
Mhm.
I also know recently a new runner named Zilkan finished the game in a sub-hour time, like with newer strats, of course, from like nowadays, but also without a notch controller. So it is possible for sure. Just yeah, it
Definitely
makes
a lot
life
harder.
much harder. Yeah,
Makes sense.
much more painful. It's incredible how strong notches are in blindfolded. Like you literally have troubles holding straight up otherwise.
Yep.
Quite funny.
Is the
But yeah,
GameCube controller easier to get a notch than like the original Nintendo 64 controller?
um, kind of, because like the GameCube controller is just, in my opinion, better built. Like it is more durable, and if
I
you
don't think
play
anyone's
on,
arguing that.
yeah. So the original N64 controller, in my opinion, is like, I mean, you hear it from all the top runners as well. Like you do two Bowser spins and you need to buy a new controller because your notches are absolutely screwed and the stick is like super loose and all. So GameCube is in that sense just much more durable. The notches are exactly the same. Like you get the same values in
Mhm.
up left and up right and stuff as well. So it's not that. It's mostly just, I think, preference. And I personally, like, I used in my whole 7 years of blindfolded running 2 GameCube controllers. I needed to only switch once, and the other one is still like good. But yeah, I still play with like my OG GameCube controller, and here it has perfect notches. So
Okay. So it's about durability
yeah,
more than anything.
mostly.
Okay. What about Hori's?
Hori's also good. I played with a Hori once. Also didn't like it. The stick is like now everything I say now is my own opinion, but
Hmm.
like the stick is much worse than like a GameCube one. I don't know. Like I just really got into the GameCube Master Race kind of group.
That's fair.
Like Hori's also, they're like so small. They're like weird to hold. The shoulder buttons are like flimsy. They feel flimsy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like when I tested it for a while, I did not like it,
That's
but better than vanilla and N64. That's for sure.
fair enough. There you go. So did you find that answer about if the sub hour was notched or not?
Not really.
I
I'm searching here in the background, but I have like so many PBs
yeah,
that like it's hard to find. But actually,
that's
a
fair.
good point that you tell this, because I have like a sheet of all my PBs ever. It's
Hmm.
probably there.
Hey, I do that too. I have a whole Google spreadsheet, Google sheet.
Yeah, yeah, same.
Yeah, I like keeping track of all that kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I found it. It's actually a 49. I jumped from 3 hours 11. Yeah. No, a 53. Oh yeah, the 53. Oh yeah,
Hmm.
there was something. 53, and I did before that. Okay, I did it. Okay, I did more games. I did Asura's Wrath and Pokemon Blue NSC, any percent NSC, and Near Automata.
Mm.
I did blindfolded in between this little time. And looking at the first sub hour, there is an Xbox controller input display, so I assume it was
Not
still without.
notched.
Yep.
That's really wild then
Mm.
to get a time that low without notches.
Yeah, like a sub hour is pretty good actually. Even nowadays, like when new runners get a sub hour, like the community is super hyped because it's like
Hmm.
a very good time. So
Hmm.
it definitely takes dedication and time to
Yeah,
get that.
that's good to hear because I hate the stigma of like as people get better and the times get pushed lower, like the how difficult something is gets like a lower and lower when in reality, like it never got any easier for everyone
Yeah,
else.
exactly. No, we that's especially in the blindfolded community, we like really celebrate every run that anyone submits, because like we have, first of all, anyways, not that many that do that.
Hmm.
And like we know how much time you need to invest to actually do something like this, even if there are like resources and all. So yeah, it's always a pleasure to see people actually like try and succeed with it and push through that hardship and like actually get results. So
Yeah, that's
I
great.
it's a pleasure to see.
Ooh.
And yeah, I think recently, like last year, I think like a couple of people got like a sub 1 hour run. There was like a little sport of new runners incoming. They all kind of stopped after one run, because I think that's like the biggest goal right now. Um, Many people start blindfolded 16 star with the like goal, okay, I just want a finished completion under 1 hour. That's like the cutoff right now. Like that's the big goal to achieve. And it's fair. It's like 1 hour, really, you need to practice for it. You cannot just wing it out in 1 week.
No, I don't think so. That'd be weird if you could.
Yeah.
There'd be a whole video about you if you did that.
Yeah.
Apparently, your 3858 also has the Xbox input viewer.
Okay.
I
I mean, it might be like, let me
mean, those
let me
seems
check.
like ridiculous times without notches. Like,
I think the 38 I already did um with a notched controller. I need to see my background. I will quickly check, because I remember exactly when I bought my first notched controller. um
because it was a
so
life-changing moment.
yeah, it was
Makes
it was funny
sense.
because I bought it to practice Ocarina of Time blindfolded,
Mm.
and yeah, then I just started routing SM64 with it. Yeah, everything below the 53 was still without notches, and everything below that was with notches for sure.
I see.
It just still had an Xbox input viewer, because I still used an USB GameCube, kind of like a fake one,
Hmm.
like a Hori Battle-Pad. I still have one laying around here, actually. It's like a GameCube controller, but with 4 shoulder buttons and USB connection. So it's like, I really like this thing. It's pretty cool.
That's neat. It's nice when you have the input viewer, so you can
Yeah,
see what you're doing.
yeah, absolutely. I'm a big fan of input viewers, especially in blindfolded. When my favorite thing is, because in blindfolded, what you do is you try something, you do a run, and then 99% of the knowledge you gain is actually rewatching it. So, and while you rewatch, you very often, while you run, you are like, what was this? I absolutely pressed that button, and like, why didn't it work? And then you rewatch it and you have an input view and you see, no, you did not press that button. And you can like really analyze deep into your gameplay what went wrong with it. It helped me like in several occasions already. That's why I always try to have one on.
Cool. Yeah, I just have a camera pointed at my controller when I play, so probably
Yeah,
probably not
I mean,
as good, but I mean,
it's working. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I like being able to look back and see like what
Mhm.
I'm pressing down, at least in some format. So
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm sure
I
it's
can
a
agree.
thousand times more helpful when you can look back and because you couldn't see what you were doing originally. So it's like, oh, now I can see what I was doing.
Hmm.
So I had a
Yeah,
question about the
absolutely.
Pokemon runs since you brought that up. Were those
Hmm.
glitchless runs?
Yeah, I did glitchless, I did glitched, and I did the
Oh, you did both.
super glitched, if you want.
Super glitch. Yes. Okay.
No, so I started with Pokemon Red, any percent glitchless. This was the first one, I think. Let me check.
That's good.
First one.
That's I see why that was so much memorization then.
Yeah, no,
That's
here,
wow.
yeah, I started with any Pokemon Blue, any percent NSC, which is like the medium glitched one. It's a 16-minute run, and it was
Hmm.
performed back in the days at GDQ also by Shenanigans and who was it again? I don't know. They did like a race at GDQ with the category,
Hmm.
and I just picked it up because it was in the visual speedrun a new route found, Um, and I decided to just break the blindfolded record with the new route. Basically, that's how I got into the whole Pokemon business. And that run finished in 16 minutes and 8 seconds, which is still a pretty good time, honestly. Like, I think the world record right now is not much lower. it's like a 15-minute something, so only like a couple of seconds. And then yeah, Pokemon Red, any percent glitchless is a 3.5 hour run with full memorization of numbers. So
Ugh.
yeah, it's a bit of an yikes run.
You must have done great in school.
No, yeah, honestly, I'm always saying like I don't have a particularly good memory. Like I'm just like a normal dude. I just put in like lots of work into these things. So
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
fair.
Pokemon was pain. I remember I literally printed out like the papers of numbers and like on paper and like just every day was reading them and like studying them like a vocab. Yeah.
Wow. I I I can't. My memory's good in general, but if it comes to like memorizing a certain, like if it came to school and having to memorize whatever you need for that, or
Mm,
like, I can't. I can't do that.
yeah. I guess it's a very different like if because what I recently learned is like when I game, I like because there are also these crazy memory techniques, also like mind palaces and stuff. I don't know, like there are these crazy people on YouTube who like memorize entire books and stuff by like binding numbers and all to like images and stories or something. Like there are these crazy
Mm,
techniques, and I just recently learned that basically what I'm doing is kind of that, but like without knowing the technique, because like that's what blindfolded gaming literally is. Like you try to imagine where you are in this world, right? Like, okay, I'm at this wall in this stage, and you have like this mental picture of it somehow, somewhat. And based off of that picture, you remember the next thread to do because you imagine, okay, from here I need to do backflip, jump, and like you kind of connect the visual gameplay with the strats that you memorize, and like it becomes like automatically kind of like this mind palace
mm,
for you for your memory. um so I just very recently learned that it's basically actually the same thing, just like unconscious.
mhm. Yeah, you can basically see the game without seeing it. It's all in your head.
Yeah.
Makes sense, I
And then
guess.
based off of that you can like memorize the numbers better.
That still seems like a wild amount of numbers, though.
Yeah, no, Pokemon definitely was. It was the most. I mean, no, I done much longer runs like 120 and Near Automata E ending, like all endings. Those were like more than 10-hour runs. They had more inputs for sure, but Pokemon just also it doesn't have like a visually a pleasing game style, I would say. Like if you put this character on like a random spot in the overworld, you have like no idea which route you are. It's like all looking the same, kind of just like here's the trainer, there's no trainer. And versus SMC or like 3D worlds and like SM64, I don't know, Dark Souls and stuff, like all these environments, they are like very unique, and you instantly know, okay, this is Worm's Fortress, this is, I don't know, this is Bowser stage or something. I think the amount of graphical reference that you have in the game also really matters in that aspect.
Mhm. Do you know like the amount of things you had to memorize for that run? Like when it comes to like full numbers or what directions and all
Um,
that?
yeah, I have like because I usually, at least in the past, very often wrote like all the inputs or like strat documents that I need to perform down. So I have, for example, for 120 star, also a document with like all the stars, and then it's not really inputs, but it says, for example, my beat counts, and then it says like go to the wall, go up and left and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the 120 star document is 70 Dynafor pages long. Um,
Oh.
yeah, so it's a lot of information that you need to keep track of.
Yeah,
Um,
I'd say.
but yeah, 120 star was, I think, the peak of what I did, like memory wise as well.
Hmm.
It was a lot and lot of numbers and lots of setups, and not even that, but I think the worst thing was that it was also difficult on top. Like that is what people usually underappreciate, I think. because everyone is like, oh yeah, so much memory, so much, I don't know, he cannot see the game, but like you actually need to perform like absolutely crazy precise tricks as well, like gameplay wise. Like these jumps are not easy, even if you have sight. So yeah, 120 was a pain.
Yeah, we can go into like the full 120
Yeah,
story. Um, so when did you decide like you were going to do that?
the 120 story. Yeah, so there was a runner before me named Katoon. He was the first person also to get a 70-star run. And after he got the 70-star world first, which also clocked in at like 13 hours, and now the world record is 1 hour 40. It
God.
also got down a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he decided after his 70-star run to just like test himself and see how many individual stars he can get. And he got to 118.
Mm.
And then there were the two impossible stars, I in like quotation marks, which was Lethal Lava Land 100 coins and Dire Dogs 100 coins.
Mm.
Um, I mean, quite for obvious reasons. In Lethal Lava Land, there's everywhere lava. You make one misstep and you're dead, and all the progress is gone. And Dire Dogs, absolutely insanely precise swimming. You cannot miss any coins because there are only 106 total in the stage, and 5 of them are like unobtainable, I think, in blindfolded. So yeah, kind of
Literally
swim
can't miss anything.
perfectly. Yeah, swim perfectly for like, I don't know, 20 minutes blindfolded. Um, so these two he gave up on after a while, and yeah, and then there was a big break, and then when I really started optimizing SM64, like I got when I started to grind 70 and 31 and 16 and all these categories at once. Um, After that, I decided to like also try the challenge to get like all the individual stars, and I got also to 118 and left those two last ones there. But then I just kept going, kind of like it took a long time, but I first got LLL 100 after like, I don't know, a couple of weeks of routing, and then eventually I also got the 120, the Diadodox 100 coin star. And yeah, people were like joking, like, yeah, and now you do 120 star runs, huh? Yeah, for sure, right? And that's the worst thing you can say to a blindfolded runner, because we are all stubborn as hell and we will take the challenge. So yeah, one thing led to the other, and I sat there 1 year long practicing for 120 after that.
1 full year. Wow.
Yeah, more actually. It was like after the last star I grabbed, I think it was 1 year and 3 months of like daily practice. So it was a long time to make this happen.
Yeah, sounds like it. I mean, again,
Yep.
you said your document was almost 100
Yeah,
pages? 70?
yeah,
I don't
70 pages
Gosh.
with like just like the most important info. So like, it definitely doesn't say all the inputs or something. It's just like the beat counts mostly that they need to memorize. But
God.
yeah, it's I the like the run is not even perfect. Like I did 3 attempts. Also, yeah, as Nico here says, the first attempt or the second attempt, it was one number I misremembered in THI after I think 7-8 hours or so,
Mm.
and I could not figure out the number, and that killed the run. Like I could not remember the number, if it was like 44, 45, and yeah, little thing like that, one little mistake, you cannot figure it out, and it's over. So
What did that affect specifically?
it was in the Cooper race, and the Cooper race is like it's very tight in time because you need to beat him,
Hmm.
and he's pretty fast. And there's RNG enemies and RNG like objects that roll, and you can hit them. If anything hits you, it's over instantly. And one of the turns when I have to hold right, like from up to right, like a tiny turn, I just didn't remember when to do it, because there's like at the very end of the Cooper race, there's a bridge with like wind,
Mhm.
and we need to somehow got like on the bridge and then like pass it without falling down. And the turn onto that bridge was the number I didn't remember. Like, and I got stuck on this one star for I think like 2 hours or so, and then I had to give up because I
Mm.
was so exhausted after like 8 hours of being blindfolded and stuff that yeah, just the one number killed the run.
So is that like were the numbers like counting beats?
Yes,
Okay,
exactly. Like the
got it.
BGM after you start the Cooper race, we have like a full sequence that we perform from hitting that A button on the confirmation box of the race until the very end, which you just need to perform over and over until it works, until you get good RNG and nothing hits you. Because it's so tight that you can literally do nothing. You cannot back it up. You need to perfectly execute it. Um, yeah, it's a very very unfortunate star. It's one of the worst stars actually that is like not coin related.
Interesting. So like, do you know like the odds of getting good RNG for that?
It's pretty okay actually. It's like within 5 tries you should get it once.
Hmm.
Probably, I would say like 1 in 5. Um, if you perform it then perfectly. That's the other problem.
Of
Like,
course, but
yeah.
yeah, that's not terrible, I guess. But
No, and it's like a pretty short star as well, so you can grind it out. Like this, the star itself is I think 2 minutes long, or like 1 minute 40 or something. It's like the IL record. So it's not even that long. It's just yeah, after exhaustion and stuff, it really hits different. If you mess up on a like easy star for like 2 hours, it really breaks the mentality.
yeah, I mean, you have to know what you're doing to
Yeah.
beat the game, so that's fair. So it took
Exactly.
3 attempts to
Yeah, the
finally.
120 took 3 attempts. The first one, I actually don't remember how the first one died. I think the first one died in LLL 100,
Mm.
because um, it had actually controller issues, I think.
Hmm.
No, wait. I like keep mixing all these runs up because I also remember one run I had like 6 or 7 hours in, and my uh, ESS adapter, because I use a ESS adapter for my Wii, like in Ocarina of Time speedruns. Um, my adapter and or controller just like disconnected and stopped working like after 7 hours of gameplay. Like I could not press any buttons anymore. It didn't register,
Hmm.
which I had to take my blindfold off, and the run was basically dead.
Mhm.
I think that was actually the reason why the second one died. I'm not sure, because it's too much. I don't remember. The first one was I think in LLL 100 coins, because it just took the like it's one still considered one of the hardest stars in the entire game, and I do believe I died like twice with like 70 plus coins, which is just like absolutely destroying you mentally. Like you need to get this positive feedback, and if you just die over and over for 2 hours, and because it's pretty early in the run, but you still have like 10 hours ahead of you, and you're already like absolutely done with this game, then like yeah, it was a mentality problem.
Yeah.
um and then the third one, finally I got through. I got first try LLL 100. I got like many of the 100 coin stars first try. It like That's why I say it actually is not a bad run. It will actually be hard to beat even if I would go back. There's only two major mistakes actually, which is as Snowman's Land 100 coins and Shifting Sand Land 100 coins. And both of these stars I lost around 1 hour to each.
Mm.
So this is a big time save, of course, but I think, most of all the other hard 100 coin stars first try in that run, which is insane. Um, that's definitely something to first be done again. So even like that's why I'm also thinking, even if someone else would try this, it would still be hard to beat this record right now.
Yeah. Impressive that it only took 3 tries though.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was absolutely determined, like, because after, I don't know, I don't like to give up on these things, and I put so much work. I put like years of work into this, and like I just could not finish it. And like the first attempt, I was like super like, oh damn, need to practice more. And then I practiced more, and did the second attempt, and it again failed. So I was like really like, oh man, come on. So the third one, it was also like IRL. I had lots going on. I was like I was just starting my master thesis. So I had like really no time to grind anymore. Like because I did this whole grind during my last semester of university, and then I had to write my thesis, and like I was just like, I have to finish this now. I cannot physically do this otherwise. Like, and I think this determination just pushed me through that somehow.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Gotta have that boost somehow.
Yeah, exactly. It needs to come from somewhere.
So the 100 coin stars are like definitely the hardest stars in that
Yes,
run by a lot.
100%. And like there are 1,500 coin stars in the game, and I think third, let's say 12 of them are definitely in the top 15 hardest stars of the game. So it's just they are long. They are very long in most cases. Like shifting sand land 100 coins is a perfectly executed half-hour long star. And if you mess up after 25 minutes, you need to redo it,
Do it
like
again.
everything.
Wow.
Yeah, that's why it also lost so much time in the attempt, actually. Um, Shifting, yeah, and Snowman's Land inside the run, I died, I believe, let me not lie, but I believe I died once with 98 coins and
Mm-hmm.
once with, I think, 79 coins. So, like, really long into the attempt, which was like lost me 20 minutes or so each time. And yeah, nothing you can do about it.
Nothing you can do, yeah. So what's the for just the 100 coin stars? What's like the
Mhm.
shortest one compared to the longest one? Like what's the range of how long they take?
The shortest one is definitely Worm's Fortress. Kind of like in the visual speedrun. Worm's 100 is 4 minutes long,
Mm.
performed perfectly. I think my best time was like 4 minutes something. And you get 2 stars out of it, so it's actually pretty good because you also collect the red coins at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the longest one, um, give me 1 second, I can tell you in precise numbers. The longest one is, I would say, either BOB 100 coins, like the first stage actually, because you have to fly for the coins in the air with the wing cap,
Mm-hmm.
and you just need to do like 5 reruns to the island and fly for like 2 coins every time.
Hmm.
But that's actually not the longest. My um, it says 26 minutes for 100 coins in BOB. What do I have here? Lethal Lavaland is only like 20 minutes long. Shifting Sandland is 20 minutes. Diadox is 20 minutes. Snowman's Land is 23.
Mm.
No, so it might be Bomb Battlefield with like 26 minutes, my best time. But
Hmm.
you cannot really die in that stage, so it's still in not easy star, but it's still okay. Shifting Sandland or
Mm-hmm.
like Snowman's Land, 23 minutes, which I died to and with 98 coins. So there it's very easy to die and it's very long.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but many of them are like 20 minutes around. Perfectly executed. That's the thing. Like definitely if you make mistakes, much more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So those are definitely like half the run. It's just the 100 coin stars.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, DDD hundreds can definitely, I think in average DDD 100 would be the longest. My best time on it is 20 minutes. But in average, every attempt, because you need to like do so many backups, keep renormalizing yourself, keep finding that last coin. Um, it's an average is probably more like a 40-minute star, yeah,
I
maybe
see.
even longer.
And so those are definitely the longest stars in the game.
Definitely, yeah.
Hmm.
Like that's why
Wow.
it's also such a big time difference between 120 star and 70 star. Like 70 star, the world record is now at 1 hour. Wait, what's the world record? 1 hour 70 star, 1 hour 25 minutes actually.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, and then 120 star, which is only 50 additional stars, is like 12 hours long. So all that extra time comes mostly from the 100 coin stars. And like the difficulty of the stars also increases like exponentially with every single star after 70. So it really comes from that.
Wow. I mean, that's just wild. Like, I
Yeah.
remember when that happened. First of all, I couldn't believe how fast it happened. And then, like, it kind of like the fake blindfolded run, the real blindfolded run here blew the hell up too.
Yeah.
That was a
Thankfully it
huge
did, yeah.
gaming news thing.
Yeah, it was covered by like, I mean, here it got even into this company right there. Don't know
Yeah.
how, honestly.
Yeah,
No,
it's
but
rare they just give you something and don't expect like $10,000 or whatever. So there you
yeah,
go.
I was super surprised. It was super random because nobody even contacted me about it. Like, just one day randomly a chatter in my chat was like, "Hey, look what I found," and then like posted the link to like Guinness World Records, and there was like an article about me.
There you go.
So I just messaged him like an email, like, "Hey, that's kind of me. Do I get something for this?" And
Well, if they're gonna write
yeah,
an article, they better give you the plaques. There you go.
yeah, no, they sent me this certificate afterwards, but yeah, it was quite funny, like,
Well, there you
but
go.
yeah, like usually, as you said, there's lots of controversy about that Guinness World with all the monies that you need to pay for like these records. So
Oh, I don't like
I
them
mean,
because they copyright 27 of my videos at once.
really,
Do you remember
really.
that? This I think Carl Jobs made a video on it. This was a few years
Mhm,
ago, but they had Cosmic on their channel. Like they did a video. Well, all they did is
mhm.
like showed him talking for like 15 seconds and then played his whole run unedited.
Okay.
They then content ID'd that video to claim like YouTube videos, and all
Oh,
Warpless runs look like that.
oh
So
no. Yeah, I can
yeah,
imagine. I can
so
imagine.
I now my channel's not monetized anyway because I don't have the requirements for it, especially
Mm,
not back then. But I got 27 or something copyright claims, and I
Jesus.
was like,
Yeah.
"Yo, that's awesome! Thanks, Guinness."
Yeah,
So
it's a bit weird because you constantly hear kind of these kind of stories about them. So I don't know.
yeah.
It's a shame. It could be a good thing, but I mean we have our own leaderboards and stuff, so
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
guess
I'm
that's
just
fair
surprised they
enough.
actually just handed you that. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm also quite surprised that they gave me anything, like not just like didn't reply to the email forever.
yeah, and they didn't like just take your video and upload it on their channel, did they? So that's pretty good
Yeah,
too,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they did not use any video, which maybe is better
hmm
that way.
I think so.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure, like with the amount of media attention it got, they all then flocked to your official video and
Mm,
then made that do better. Like it didn't need
yeah,
some bigger channel re-uploading it or anything like that.
exactly. I think so too.
So yeah, that's good. But yeah, that was yeah, again, I just couldn't believe how fast it happened. Like I remember like the huge announcement of day 1 and then
Mm.
like, a few days or a few attempts or whatever later, it's like, "Oh, there it is."
Yeah. It was definitely a big grind. Like it happened mostly so fast at the end because yeah, the attempts I think I did all 3 attempts within like 3 weeks, like 1 week
Mhm.
per like 1 week per attempt, and then just a tiny bit of practice in between. But like yeah, it had like such a long back tail to that whole conclusion at the end. Like this whole year of practicing. Um yeah, so definitely like I very much hope that it will finish fast at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that was the culmination of over a year of work. And there it
Yep.
was in 3
Yep.
weeks or whatever. That's
Yeah.
all it
Quick
needed.
10-hour run and then never again.
Never again. I mean, you don't need to, you did it. First
Yeah.
ever 120 completion. There you go.
Yep. Exactly.
Check and done. But
Like,
yeah,
I'm actually like quite honest. I would really love to do it again and like come back to it, because especially now it would take so much less time at work. Like now I have already most of the strats. I just would need to like optimize a bit here and there for consistency or so.
mhm.
But still, like, I just don't have the time, like, quite literally, like, because I'm also just streaming like after work. And yeah, when should I get so much time to like practice this whole big project? And like, I would need to cast away all of my other blindfolded projects, all of my like what I would do for YouTube, all my content and all. I would just again need to focus like full on 120 for like another year or so. And
Mhm.
it's just too much. Like, I would really love to do it, just IRL time is too limited, unfortunately.
Mhm. Well, you definitely don't have to. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's the one good thing. Like, I mean, there's no. I wanted to say there's no pressure. I get daily comments about when's the next 120, but
People need to shut up, man.
yeah,
You did it. I mean, that's all. That's all that really
yeah,
matters.
yeah,
Just watch
yeah,
the video again, people, or something.
exactly.
Like, this is my opinion, at least. I think that's probably one of the greatest gaming accomplishments ever. I
Yeah,
mean,
thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad people think like that. Really, like,
like,
I like that. I'm very happy that like this work actually like paid off and people appreciate it. So
mhm. Like, just knowing, like, you kind of had to have played the game to like really know just how hard it is, I guess. And even
mm,
then, you really don't know how hard it is. But
yeah,
just like I can't even comprehend the amount of effort it would need. Like just
yeah,
hearing like
120.
70-page document, I'm just like, no, I couldn't memorize a 1-page document.
Yeah, and now 120 is a beast for sure. Like, I'm confident that there won't be anytime soon competition in it as well. Like, it will stand for a while.
Mm,
I really don't think it will stand forever. Like, nothing does. And there is lots of room for improvement, but it will stand for a while. I don't think anyone will be trying it soon.
hmm. The other thing
Would
that,
love to see it though, like,
yeah, of
honestly.
course, but again, like not many people have a year of work they want to put into that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
project.
yeah,
So,
exactly. Especially now since it's not a world first anymore.
hmm.
Like, I think that was also a big motivation for me, that like actually it's something that like is has like a first time impact kind of.
Hmm. Yeah, the
I
first
think
time
it's
something's done is always going to be like the most
yeah, yeah.
attention getting, the crazy pop off one. So yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But
No,
something.
but yeah, it's funny because like not even like SM64 in general, not even 70 star has seen any new runners since like long time at this point.
Mm,
Um, we have 3 completions of 70 since 20, I think 19. 2019, I think,
okay.
was the year when 3 people finished 70. And since then, not a single new person came.
Okay.
Like, everyone just tries 16 star, realizes it's pretty damn hard, and then quits. Right now, we have, yeah, Nico is working, I believe, towards the 70 star run. Um, but yeah, there like people start 16 star and they realize that it is a lot of work that you need to put in to do that. So, and 70 is still a whole other beast than 16. Like, 16 is definitely still only the surface that you
Hmm.
scratch with it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 16's really hard, but then 70,
Definitely.
and then what? The huge
Yep.
exponential graph that comes out of that. It's
Yeah, yeah.
wild. But
It is pretty wild.
one thing I thought about when I was like hearing about the 120 thing is like not only do you memorize all that stuff, but you don't know your star count. You could like easily just forget to grab a star or something,
Yeah, definitely.
which is
It
why
like
I thought it was so interesting when you like go to the
uh
cannon at the end of it. So you like ledge grab it and know like the gate's gone, you have 120, and that's when
yep.
you realize you've actually done it. That's
Yeah,
just so
like
interesting to me.
I spent like I think 2 or 3 days entirely just to basically create like an algorithm to what happens if I go to that cannon and it does not open?
It's like,
So
well,
yeah, no, because I like literally figured out that like because in SM64 you can do like when you enter the stage you can like tap to the right and left to select the stars,
mhm,
and dependent on how many stars you have on that stage, you can hear different amounts of ticks. And in theory, you can, in like most of the cases, not in all, but like in most of the cases, you could mathematically calculate which star you're missing, even
mhm.
if you like really don't remember. So I literally just spent like 1 or 2 days to like calculate a formula for that.
What if you miss a secret star though?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem. You
Mm.
would you would hear at the end that like your formula that you have all stars within the stages, and then you would somehow need to figure out the secret stars.
Oh my
Um,
god.
yeah, but nowadays, fun fact actually, we there is um, actually there was no requirement for the cannon because Bowser gives you an additional text box if you have 120 stars,
Mhm.
which we didn't know.
Oh,
So
I
we
knew
could
that.
just
What?
yeah, we could just beat Bowser with 120 and then count how many times you need to press A, and
It'd be
then
funny
we
you
would know
beat
it's you.
Bowser, you're all excited and you're missing a text box. It's like, oh shit.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh my
No, but I
god.
think the canon ending was more hype anyways, so I'm
That
I'm
is fun.
glad.
I love all the people like where are you going? And then you just
Yeah,
ledge
yeah,
trap. It's
yeah,
like, oh shit.
yeah.
Because you need that to know for sure. But then you
Yep.
still have to do bits.
Yeah, that's like the final. That's the thing with the route. Like in theory, it would be faster to do Bowser in the Sky Reds at the very end, and then just beat Bowser and finish the game.
Hmm.
But we did it like early, and then we had to do this like glorious rerun through bits when everyone is already excited. So
Hmm.
it
It
fit into
was
the
more hype.
storytelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the hypest thing, and I remember this very clearly, was like falling off from the top. I forget if it was like a
Mm,
Goomba getting in the way or something. And
mhm.
then the like optimal strat
Oh
to get
yeah,
up
the
there.
the for the fans.
The for the fans, yes. Exactly.
Yeah. No, it's funny because it was a strat back then, only used by the Japanese runner Noburi, who had the 16-star record at the time. And like it is incredibly hard to do. And like I never really practiced it because I found it stupid. Like it was so difficult and I never really practiced it. So I literally just winged it out like out of nowhere. That's why I was like so surprised as well.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. And nowadays, if you don't do it in 16 star, you cannot overdrag it anymore. So GG.
It saves that much time.
It
Wow.
saves like there are strats out like we have some other ideas for approaches where you still use the elevator, but yeah, you save like half a minute or so with it. Because you don't need
Wow.
to wait for any cycle and you can do standing left side as well. Um so it does save quite a bit of time. Uh
Hmm.
yeah,
Wow.
that's the story of the for the fans.
Makes sense. I just remember because I think I obviously caught like the tail end of it, like the bits run
Mm.
through, because I remember like the cannon ledge grab specifically in that.
Mhm.
I'd never seen that before personally. I didn't know that was a thing. So I was just like, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think many people had the exact same experience.
Yeah, I'm sure, but yeah. You got lucky to when that like fall off happened that you just landed back on the like platform right
Yeah,
below it.
absolutely. I cannot tell you how often a Goomba hit me down there on a world record base and you just fall down all the way and it's done. Like these Goombas at the end, the death who placed them there is absolutely evil, I
Hmm.
tell you.
Yeah.
Just 100% randomness at the end.
Yeah, that's a bit unfortunate.
Yep.
Like it really is just pure randomness. You can just die.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
yeah. He can push you off just 100%. Like even if you are exactly in the middle of the platform, like the Goomba, he can hit you to the side and you fall off. Like it can happen. Everything can happen.
That sucks.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
have
god.
multiple clips where I'm literally like ahead of world record by like I don't know 30 seconds, a minute or so, and then just like boink, and the Goomba pushes me down.
Yeah, 16 of course, I
Yeah,
assume. Yeah, makes
also
sense.
70. I
Oh,
did lose
really?
70 to the Goomba as well.
Oh
I
my
am very
god.
sure. Also,
Wow.
I did lose 2 records in 70, or like PBs at least. I don't know if it was records, but I did lose 2 PBs in 70, what we talked earlier about, because I walked to the door with 69 stars.
No, no.
And then I was like, oh damn, what did I forget?
And so you just hear like the Bowser noise, and it's like,
Yeah,
oh
yeah. And then you
shit.
walk up the stairs and it's like like
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
the infinite stairs. And you are like, oh
No.
no, dude. Yeah. It was quite funny for the chat, but I was pretty sad.
Yeah, that's fair. That's crazy that that happened, what, twice in 70, but zero
Twice.
times
Yeah.
in 120? No
Yep.
way.
Yep. I guess, yeah, just so like, because in 70 you could just go for speed, but like in 120 you really like after each stage have to like count, okay, did I do this, did I do this?
Yeah,
And then
that's
you're like more
fair.
focused on that
Hmm.
because you really don't want to miss one.
Yeah, that makes sense. Wow.
At least I guess that's my explanation to it.
I think it makes sense. So take that as you will. But
Yep.
all right. So after that, it's just like no more Mario 64 until sub 2016, I guess.
Yeah, no, I'm still working constantly on new stuff. Like
Hmm.
I cannot be done with it. I'm currently working on a blindfolded 16 tutorial, which
Mm,
will release very soon. Like a full-on tutorial for beginners that literally anyone can learn in like a couple of days,
mm,
and that will be a big thing soon. So I worked a lot of on that in the past weeks. um I'm still going to many like marathons with blindfolded stuff. Like the next one I'm gonna do is 31 star,
mm,
which like is in visual speedruns not very much like known category. It's like 16 star, but you are not allowed to do mid slip.
mhm,
So you need to collect more stars the intended way. You basically get into Bowser the intended way, and you are only allowed to do BLJs at the end.
mhm. Yeah, it's like
And
the original any like the
yeah, it's the
very
old.
limited
Yeah,
any
yeah.
percent run before
Exactly,
MIBS.
exactly, exactly. And in blindfolded, it makes for a really nice category. I think it's one of my favorite categories actually, because it's longer, a tiny bit only longer than 16 star. The world record is now 40 minutes.
Mm,
So it's a tiny bit more long. You have more content. You need to get more stars, but it's still not as intimidating as like 70 because there's so much to do.
mhm,
And you can still kind of pick your stars and all. I think it's a very cool category for blindfolded. So and right now it's the least optimized world record as well.
mm,
Um, so I kind of am playing with shaving off 1 or 2 minutes there. I'm still, because I have all world records right now besides 1 star. Um, 1 star still handyman, a good friend of mine has it, which I was on record pace into bits once, but yeah, okay. Here's the story for 1 star. Blindfolded LBLJ is doable really, really hard. Blindfolded SBLJ to get the 1 star glitch like through the door, absolutely RNG, full on pain. There is nothing you can do. You just try to get this super, super precise trick that not many people can do with eyes blindfolded. And you just go there and try to do it. Like, it's super painful. Um, so, blindfolded SBLJ is like one in maybe 50 runs will get through the door after Bowser 1, maybe even less. And then you need to get still lucky to get it like first or second try to be fast.
mhm,
And the current world record in 1 star still has mistakes. It has a missed throw at the end, which loses like 1.5 minutes.
mm.
I think it had second or third try SBLJ, which is very good. But
Wow.
nowadays, at least me personally, I have faster strats in every Bowser stage.
Mhm,
So we optimized all the Bowser stages, which would alone save like so. Long story short, the world record right now is, I believe, 15 minutes. Um, don't let me lie, but 15, 16 minutes, something like that, by handy. And I believe if I really would grind out the SBLJ for like a first try SBLJ, I could throw out like a 12-minute run or so. So there is minutes of time saved. Just It is so painful to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the biggest issue with this whole grind is I really want to do it, but after I grind SBJ for 1 or 2 days, I literally start getting hand pains. So I
Mm.
physically cannot grind as much as I would like to.
Damn
Um,
hands, yeah.
yeah, it's unfortunate. So that's the one thing that I really want to do. Just I don't know how to approach because of the hand pains.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have the full sweep as well. And yeah, then there's literally nothing left to do besides meme categories. Like I routed a couple of months ago, I routed blindfold all signs, which is very interesting. Lots of new movement that you would never see otherwise. So it's kind of cool. We have like all cannons, which I still want to do. All these like the misc meme categories, but blindfolded. Which I'm very interested, but yeah, they will come eventually just for fun.
But when Zero Star though?
Yeah, when is zero star? It's a good question.
Mm-hmm.
It is in theory possible, but it is take the pain from 1 star, multiply it by 1,000, and then you
Yeah.
have 0 star blindfolded because you
Yeah.
literally just have to RNG the right speed. You have to RNG the setup and hope that you clip through. So it is possible. I've played around with the idea for a long time, and at this point, I would honestly tell you, I am willing to even do it and try if my damn hands wouldn't hurt, because that
Yeah.
would take even more SBLJ mashing every day for 10 hours. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually quite confident if someone, or like if I would grind 0 star for, let's say, 1 month every day, every weekday, I would get it like 100%.
Mm.
You could definitely make it work with enough attempts. Just yeah. First of all, mental pain because absolutely horrible run.
Yeah.
Second of all, physical pain because the run is basically just mash LBLJs, mash SBLJs, mash BLJs, and then miss your boss throw at the end and cry. So
Yeah.
it's a
Or get
it's a fun
Goomba'd.
run. Yep. Yeah, I'll get Goombad exactly.
That'll be how the first Zero Star dies. The Goomba.
Yeah, and what my biggest fear is that because if you die in Fire Sea, you get spitted out again out of the DDD
Mm.
range. So
Mm-hmm.
if you die in Fire Sea, the clip is invalid. You need to reset. There's no way of coming back. And
Yep.
if you, I can see, I can literally picture it. I see this Twitch clip already. Like blindfolded idiot dies in Fire Sea after getting the world first clip or something.
Blindfolded idiot.
Yeah, I tell you, I smell it. It will happen because Fire Sea is by no means an easy stage. It's a very very hard stage to perform, especially fast.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you would do the safest threats, there's always a pretty high chance to die. So
Yeah, I see that.
yeah.
Well, hopefully you didn't just speak it into existence now, but
Oh no. Yeah,
but yeah, it definitely seems
that's
like a valid like possibility.
yep. Yeah, I think so. It can happen.
And of course, the people that don't understand difficulty will eat that up as hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, a live stream
I know.
fails or
So
whatever.
I tell you, like, I will not say it will never happen, but it will definitely not be a fun grind.
No, I don't think Zero Star is fun visually either.
Yeah,
So,
true. It's the worst category.
yes, I don't think anyone's arguing that one. So,
Yeah.
adding not being able to see to that sounds like no, no, just no, nah, So, yeah.
Yeah,
You see, when I
totally
originally
agree.
said that, I was kidding. So, but nice to have a real answer anyway.
Yeah, no, like as I said, it is possible, just
Hmm.
painful. So we will see in the future how it goes.
Yeah, of course. All right, so going back into the timeline of things here.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, you've just done so many games. I can't even think of all of them. So So I'm trying to stick to the timeline because that's all I can guarantee is time works linearly. So
Yeah, that is true.
so like in the early days, you said Pokemon and Kingdom Hearts. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know what that would look like. I've never played one of those games personally, but um like in that era going forward, what else was there?
So yeah, the Kingdom Hearts era was pretty early on, as you said.
Hmm.
Then I definitely I spent a long time. I spent a really long time with Nier Automata.
Mm.
Um, I have it here actually from August 2018 until December 2018. It doesn't look so long. A couple of months. Crazy. I thought it's much longer. But yeah, I spent a couple of months with Nier Automata apparently, which is like also a pretty big RPG or like action RPG on, and like it was one of the first games that was like newer. It was like, because I Kingdom Hearts you could also already kind of count as a retro game. It came out when like PS2 early era. So Nier Automata was like a very new game on PS4, on PC and stuff. So it was a very different feel to it again because it has like such all these detailed graphics and all. It was a very interesting experience, and there I also did my very first very long run with the all endings, or like ending they call it, category. um that was my first run over 10 hours blindfolded, and that also had a strat document for like 50 pages or so. It's a very very long the visual world record of that category is longer than 4 hours.
Mm.
So um, it is already a big run visually, and yeah, I just for some reason decided to do it blindfolded. So that was like my first encounter with the very long kind of endurance type of speed run, which I can highly recommend anyone who is interested in such long runs to check out Katoon, the person I mentioned earlier with the 70-star first world first. Cartoon specialized like doesn't really specialize on speed blindfolded speed runs, on like the speed aspect, but more on like the first completion. And Cartoon has many blindfolded runs that are absolutely crazy, like over 10 hours long.
Mm.
um, Donkey Kong Country 1, 2, 3, he did all three games like individually but blindfolded, and so I think the case 200% took like 12 hours or so. um, yeah, SM64 70-star world first was over 10 hours. Ocarina of Time glitchless, 16-hour run. I think that's the longest blindfolded run actually in a single segment without breaks.
Wow.
16 hours, 51 minutes without standing up from the desk blindfolded. Absolutely insane, yeah. So there are some very, very crazy runs out there. Um, and then after this Near Automata era, I did kind of just branch out into super many very short runs and like just tried different kind of things. Um, I can reach you out like a little list, for example, because it's super different games. I just like tried playing around, trying to find new genres that I can learn from. For example, A Link to the Past, any percent is a 3-minute run. um, but like first time for me, like 2D Zelda kind of from above. I did fighting games like Soul Calibur and like beat 'em up games on SNES, like Sailor Moon, for example. I did Wii Sports Golf blindfolded. Like
Hell yeah.
you can see like it's all very different from each other, but like I think I learned a lot during this whole period from like different kind of genres. Um, I there also finished the first run of Deltarune Chapter 1, like the Undertale second game thingy. Um, which what? Oh yeah, and then I did like some other weird little categories. Wario Land, for example, as a little 2D platformer for the first time. Wario Land 2 any percent. Then I tried Ocarina of Time as well in that era with not any percent but dank percent,
Hell yeah.
which is a surprisingly cool blindfolded category because it teaches you lots of the movement. and it's like 25 minutes long. It's not too long, so you don't have to be so intimidated by it. I did like IB. It's a horror game in like the RPG makers. I don't know, development kit, and that's also like Pokemon Red, like tile based, so you could count all the movement pretty easily. But it's a longer run. It's like a 1 hour run. That was a bit bigger, and then started my first new whole genre that I grind a lot, which is Metroid.
Mm.
Um, I started with Metroid Zero Mission, any percent, and that was the first run blindfolded actually that I really grinded for a good time. Because SM64 before, that was all still before the sub 1 hour SM64. So until this point, every blindfolded run I did was just like for the first completion. I just wanted to like complete a game once and then move on. And Metroid Zero Mission on Game Boy Advance was the first one I actually really optimized for time. So I grinded like the first completed run, it says is a 2 hour, like 1 hour 58. And then I got around 6 PBs or so within the next few months to lower it to a 123. So like half hour shaven off. And 123 is pretty close, not pretty close to the visual, but like decently enough close to the visual speedrun. It's pretty optimized. So I really took my time and like optimized it really, really hard. And after that, I did the same thing for SM64, I believe. Like that's how it came to that's how I started to grind from that 53-minute run, that first sub hour, to the first sub 50 run. Okay, then came the first sub 50 run, then came the first sub 40 run, and I think with the 38 I stopped in 16 star, and then came the Japanese runner Nobori who beat it eventually. So I think this whole grind at Metroid Zero Mission really had an impact also on SM64 in my career, because then I really started to optimize time and get like PB after PB. And also I tried for the first time the longer categories. I did it was in August 2019 where I did the first time 31 star, and I also did 70 star right after Katoon and beat his record. My first 70 star time was a 5 hour 10, so still pretty long.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's like the
were all the games you were mentioning before that like first completions anyone ever has done blindfolded, or just for you?
yeah.
Okay.
No, mostly first evers. I think in most of the cases. There are some like Pokemon Yellow, any percent safe corruption, the very short run, the 000 in-game time. It's like a 2-minute run. That was, for example, done before. I just beat it and then optimized it afterwards. Link to the Past also has been done before, because it's like such a short run, I guess. Like
Yeah.
the shorter the run, the more definitely you will see people from the visual community also will attempt it probably.
So is there like
But yeah,
a different place first completions are kept track of compared to like the speedrun leaderboard?
not really, and I think that's a mistake. Like that's something I've been thinking of quite a lot in the past too. But like, yeah, we have our website with the like we have a website which is basically like speedrun.com but for blindfolded runs, but it does track only the newest runs and not like the obsolete ones. But we were talking that we kind of want the system to also track the older runs of people, so we have like the whole history, because right now there's no place for that, which is very unfortunate, I think.
Yeah,
I
because I
think
I think
world
first
first are like
completions are very important as well. And then of course
yeah,
like the history of the record progression after that is also important, but I feel like
yeah,
first completions can be like their own thing. Like you
absolutely, I
so
totally agree with
yeah,
that.
I think that would be important to keep track of.
Yeah, maybe I will try to push a bit more with that into the community soon.
Yeah. It'd just be cool to see, because then maybe people would play different games just to be the first to beat this blindfolded, and then that could be
Yeah,
its own thing.
absolutely, I can totally see that. No, I think it's very important too.
and then you can see just how many games people have beaten without seeing like a full
Yeah,
list.
yeah. Like, I guess in a sense you can see that also from the leaderboards, because every game that does not have a leaderboard will automatically mean that it hasn't been done yet. But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
fair.
it's not an implicit like way of doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, it could just be like a separate page even or
Yeah, I
something.
think
Yeah.
so. I will pitch, because the website is moderated or like written by one of our moderators named Saver, and yeah, we're basically putting all the runs up there too. Just if we have any new ideas and stuff, we usually go to him and he does the implementation for it. So maybe I will poke him a bit about it.
Yeah. But yeah, I took a look at the site and it's pretty cool. I mean, it looks just like speedrun.com, but
Mhm.
it's just
Yeah, it was definitely
blindfolded
heavily
runs.
influenced by it. Just yeah, we wanted a place to like, because we did have something before that, which was literally just online an Excel sheet of our
Hmm.
community.
Of course, yeah.
Because yeah, as I said, in 2017 we were what 10 people or so, so it was manageable. Now, if you check the site, there are hundreds of runs, so an Excel sheet is definitely not the way to go anymore.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're like half of that. But
Yeah, I've done a quite fair share for sure.
I at least know you're on the top of the most completed runs board. I saw that. I saw that
Yeah,
page. That's just factual
I
evidence.
I think I should be. Yeah, I'm like trying to. I had once the goal of like beating 100 games blindfolded,
Mm.
but I very early lost like not the motivation, but like, because I could like, if I'm honest with you, I can throw you out of my sleeve if I really wanted to. By in 2 months, I could push you out that 100. But like at this point, like I don't know, it doesn't mean that much to me anymore if I like blindfold world first random game XY. Like,
Mm.
why would I blindfold Soul Calibur 1 and Soul Calibur 2 arcade modes in difficulty 1 and difficulty 2 and stuff? It's separate speedruns technically, but
Mm.
like it doesn't like, it doesn't give me the same satisfaction as like actually doing something meaningful big, like I don't know, world first Dark Souls run like I did now. Like that's something I really strive for, like these big achievements.
Mm.
So yeah, it's right now I'm more thinking like quality over quantity. But
Yeah.
I mean, I do have the most runs on the site as well, as you said. But as I also said, I do have quite a lot of meme runs. Like I don't know, Sailor Moon easy percent, any percent easy rather, is like completely honest. You hold right. It's like the classic SNES mash 'em up.
Mm.
Um, so you hold right, keep mashing the A button, and everything will die eventually. So
But
yeah,
hey, world first.
yeah, exactly. World first, dude.
It's
So yeah,
important.
I always look at these uh, numbers with a bit of like skepticism of like the
Mm.
quantity, but I definitely did also lots of quality runs, if
Yeah.
I can say so myself.
I think most people would be more impressed by like beating a super popular hard game or something rather than like 100 shitty ass
Yeah, yeah,
shovelware or
yeah.
whatever it is. So,
Exactly, exactly. That would make maybe for a good YouTube video, but
mhm.
nothing else. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you could make content around it, I guess, but
Yeah. How
the more
many
impressive
games can
runs
I
are the
beat
big ones.
blindfolded in 24 hours?
No, I mean, I'd watch that.
Yeah.
So maybe it would be cool, but yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Maybe in the future I become like evil Arc, and then I just spam new blindfolded runs of like random games every day.
Yeah, you never know.
You
But
never
yeah,
know. Yeah.
but yeah. So, what are like your greatest achievements in blindfolded? You'd say, and obviously 120 star has got to be one of them. But
Yeah, definitely 120. Like everything I achieved in SM64, I think is on top there. Also, especially like, because I don't know, what is for me personally my biggest achievement is really that I like really got good at SM64, kind of. Like, if I don't know if that makes sense, but you saw nobody back in the days with his 25-minute blindfolded world record in 16 star, while I had a 50-minute time, and I thought I was like really no, I had a 38-minute time, but I really thought this is the peak. This nothing can beat this anymore. And then nobody came and got like in a couple of weeks a 25-minute blindfolded time, which is
Wow.
absolutely insane. Like, and he is a really top visual runner of the game. Like, he is one of the best persons to in like 0 and 1 star in the world. So he is like a really talented person. And I was just like doing my thing, and like the fact that I like somehow pushed through and like managed to like still overcome even this like super good visual speedrunner, that like I made this blindfolded thing so like, I don't know, part of my skill set, that I'm really like impressed of myself that I actually managed, because I think many people thought that like nobody will not be beaten anytime soon, like for sure. Also in 70 star, like nobody had such a high, like how do you say, such a there was such a big gap between him and everyone else. Um but yeah, so that's definitely one big thing for me. Um Other runs I'm really proud of, there are quite a few. One that I'm very proud of is Metroid Fusion. Also, I have done that blindfolded, the 100% category.
Mm.
Metroid Fusion 100%, I optimized so incredibly hard, and my PB is, I think, so good. Like, it's a really hard run, and my PB is absolutely insane in that category, and I really think it will be hard to beat anytime soon. Like, that's like one of my best runs. It has like, unfortunately, very like not many people know about it, even because it's more unknown game. I would say the speedrunning community is not that big. Like, it's a known game, but yeah, not many people watch fusion speedruns, for example. Um, so that's still one I really like, and I really like the whole grind of that game. Um, Pretty proud of my Smash Melee adventure mode runs. That's, I think, one of the most optimized runs I've done. Smash Melee adventure mode, I also did not the world first, but I beat like the runs that were existent already, that had like pretty, I would say, like simple strats, and just like tried to do stuff, and I like really worked out like RNG manip and all like rest setups, one kill setups, and like my time is right now a let me check. Adventure mode. So the world record right now is 8:24, where the visual speedrun is not much lower, I think. Adventure, Smash Melee. Smash Melee adventure mode. Yeah, so the visual speedrun world record is 6 minute 45, and I have a 8 minute run blindfolded. So it's really like, it's not a long run, but it's really optimized
Sounds
for
like it.
blindfolded standards. Yeah. So I'm really proud of that, especially since it came such a long way. I really grinded this a long time as well. Um I think my first PB was like a 20-minute time or so. So it really shove off minute by minute. And honestly, most of my marathon runs I'm really proud of. I am like, I don't know, I think speedrunning and blindfolded goes very well with like marathons, because you do like these world first, for example. It's like the one time you do something big, and it's similar with blindfolded marathons. Like, you don't need to necessarily grind all year to like optimize your route and speed and all, but you will get one chance and you have to do it. It shows like really everything, like consistency, speed, backup strats. Like, you just need to perform somehow. And yeah, I did so many marathons runs now, and like I think that's really my favorite thing to do, honestly, because like it really shows this whole process that you came this whole long way, and yeah,
Yeah,
I think
we
that's
can
great.
we can dive into like your marathon history. That'd be
Mm.
good. So
Yeah, also
what was your
happy
first
about the
marathon
topic.
run?
It was so my first marathon run online, because like my first online marathon was with Metroid Zero Mission in 2019. Um, it was pretty funny because it was also the world's first blindfolded race.
Hmm.
No, actually, no, that's not true. Sorry, because there was the Pokemon race and stuff. But we did um, a cross game race. It sounds weird, but we did blindfolded Super Metroid versus blindfolded Metroid Zero Mission,
Hmm.
um, because both of our PBs were pretty close, and yeah, we just did like cross game blindfolded online race in a
Yeah.
marathon setting.
Just which is faster.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So that was my first experience. Then I did like two smaller, like all of these marathons were like the very small type, like um I don't know, like new marathons that just started out, and they like very small local online marathons. And then very early on in like 2019, I got accepted into Arte in Japan
Mm.
because I lived there for a year, and I was there and I just like applied, and they took me with blindfolded Deltarune. And that was my first in-person marathon run, and also like the first big run, because yeah, Arte in Japan is a huge event with like multiple 10,000 people watching.
Mm.
Um, so that was my first big one. And after that, after Arte in Japan, I started really going crazy with marathons. I was in, I think, every single ESA since 2019.
Mm.
With, I think I have my entire repertoire in ESA. I did Metroid Fusion, Metroid Zero Mission, SM64, 16 star, Deltarune, Smash Melee, Super Captain Falcon, ROM hacks I did in DSA, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild, 70 star. I did
Jeez.
every one of my games at ESA. Um, so yeah, ESA, I'm really out of submissions at this point. Um, then I did at GDQ. I was 5 times now. Five. So wait, so the first GDQ I got accepted was in 2020 with blindfolded Smash Bros. 64. Break the targets, all characters.
Oh yeah, I
Um,
did see that.
yeah,
That
it
was like
was
one of the
it
first
was
online ones.
yeah,
Or if it was
exactly. That was
2020, it was the first
2020.
online one.
Yep, it was the first online one, which was lucky because I think that's the exact reason why I could attend. Um, so it was like a 12-minute run, very short. But yeah, it was my first GDQ appearance. And then I got into GDQ, I think, 3 times in a row afterwards with 16 star and then 70 star as well. That was the entire era with this cheetah video as well. It was very lucky for me because the cheetah video got released, lots of attention on blindfolded. I just like started streaming seriously, kind of, and I got into SGDQ with 16 stars. So it was really all the attention suddenly on blindfolded Mario, uh, which led me to my whole streaming career kind of growing very fast also. So that was lucky. And then I did further at GDQ. I did, this year in summer Games Done Quick 2023, I was in person, first time there with Breath of the Wild blindfolded, any percent. Um, a really cool experience. It was my first in-person GDQ, first time in the US,
Mm.
and really cool vibes there.
Yeah.
Um, and then I did lots of also RTN Japan runs. That's also my one of my favorite events. So I did, as I said, my first one Deltarune in person. Then I did also 70 star at RTA in Japan. I also did Smash Bros. Melee Adventure Mode, and I did also Breath of the Wild. But all of these were online, unfortunately, because yeah, Japan is far away, and it was also
Yeah.
COVID.
Hmm.
Um, and now I applied again for in person, actually, for this end of the year, because I'll probably be there, and the results will come in 5 days. So hope that I will get accepted.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's
No. So I
quite the lineup.
definitely, yeah. Those are like the big marathons, but
Mhm.
I really went crazy as well, especially this year with smaller marathons. Um, Let me count. This year alone, I was at 12 different marathons
They
with my
have 12
stuff.
marathons in a year. Wow.
Yeah, like in Germany, I was in like 3 local ones, I think, in person.
Mm.
I did like 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or even more online ones for various occasions. Um, so this year especially, I did lots of online stuff. 2021, I also did lots of online stuff. I think there was also around 10 or 12. No, it's 10. In 2021 was 10 marathon runs, and this year I had 12 so far. So yeah, I really go often to marathons and I really enjoy it too. Um, but I have to also say I feel like not that it like wears off slowly, but I I don't feel the need anymore to push so much to like, oh, I need to get into GDQ this time and all of this. It's just like, I don't know. I did so many marathons. It's just like getting too much, like
Hmm.
it's too much work to always have something new prepared, always have something. I just want to play my games blindfolded. Like,
Yeah.
of course, when I have something cool to show, I'm super happy to apply and all to all these things, and always happy to get accepted. But I definitely will calm down a bit more with the marathons these days. It took lots of work and travel time and stuff as well.
Yeah, you don't want to burn yourself out on the
Yeah,
marathon
exactly,
aspect. Makes
exactly,
sense.
exactly.
Nah, I just go to marathons for the fun of it. Like, I
Yeah.
rarely get in myself. Although recently that hasn't been true. I've had the wildest streak ever recently, but
Really.
yeah, I don't know what's been going on, but took a while. But yeah, I'd always just go for the fun of in-person
Yeah.
events.
In-person events especially are really fun. I can totally agree.
Hmm.
Um, Always at ESA also and GDQ and RT in Japan, it's always so much fun to see all these different games, all these different runners, people who just like come and hang out. It's a great meetup point for this kind of
Hmm.
community, I think.
Was the GDQ your first time in America? You said.
Yes, 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 exactly.
Let's see. You got to get the big speedrunner experience there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've always
Yeah,
loved
it
their
was
events.
yeah, no, the GDQ one was, I think, so far also my craziest event for sure. I don't know if you heard or saw the whole story that was going on, but um, so my run was at the very end, and it was a bonus run, so it had
Oh
a
yeah, I
very
do
high
remember this.
donation incentive,
Hmm.
and it was I like I traveled first time to the US. Like, I spent so much money because the schedule released and I only booked a flight ticket after I knew that I was accepted.
Hmm.
So I paid like more than, I think, $1,500 dollars for the flight only,
Jesus.
because it was like last second. Plus the hotel, plus the food and all. It was very expensive for me.
Hmm.
And then the day came with my run, and it was nowhere close to the donation incentive, and I was just like absolutely a stress ball. Like,
Hmm. Yeah.
I'm usually pretty chill about these things, like I don't care, but I really felt like intimidated by this high donation incentive. And everyone was like, the whole staff, everyone was like together with me and like shaking. We were all talking and all. They said like, yeah, we will try to make it happen and all, but yeah. And then what happened is that they did like they did like some special events and all, talked a long time, and they had to like basically delay my run for like 1.5 hours, I think, just to like reach that donation incentive. They had to like stall a bit
Hmm. The
because, of
classic, yeah.
course, yeah, the classic. They also don't want to cancel it, of course, like.
Hmm.
But yeah, I was just like there on stage, ready with my setup. And I remember it super clearly. I was there with Mitch and Metroid Master, my commentators. We were three on the stage. behind us, because it was last day, like finale basically, like the entire room full, like full of people, thousands of people standing there. And we were like the three people on stage, and we were just like hyping up the crowd, like, yo, one more, one more. And this went on for like an hour. It was super surreal. And yeah, and then they told me they reached the goal, and I was just like sitting there at this chant. I was thinking, like, dude, people just spent like, I think, 500,000 or like $1 million to make this run happen. If I now mess up super hardcore in the intro or so and like get lost, it's over, dude. I had like the hardcore, like, big, not pressure. I didn't feel much pressure, but like, this like respect of like how much money came to make this happen.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
There's nothing like the finale-ish part of the
Yeah,
thing. And that
yeah.
marathon went deep into the night. That schedule went
Yes,
so far behind.
yes,
So,
absolutely.
but yeah,
It did.
yeah, that was my first time on stage. It was that day too, because my run was that day,
Mm,
the last day.
okay.
My donation incentive was 30,000, so
Okay.
I thought that was pretty good. I can't imagine having like $1 million of pressure on
Yeah,
you.
I don't even know how much it was at this point. It's all very hazy in my memory, but
Hmm.
I know it was a lot. Yeah,
I think it was somewhere around there. I don't know if
I
it
think
was
so.
like
Yeah,
that amount. No, maybe I
I
don't know.
think it was like
It was a lot.
yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I think it was something like not even an incentive, but they had to reach the next round million number or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah,
Like
but yeah,
two
a
million
lot of,
total or something.
yeah, lots of money on the shoulders.
Yeah, I just remember because at that point everyone's like either in the hotel room or in there. They're packing up the practice room and
Yeah.
everything. So it's just like, oh god, it's time to stall. And then,
Yeah, it
boy,
was a very surreal experience.
I just remember like trying to stay there for the finale and like barely being able to stay awake, and then it was already daylight outside again by the time the event finally ended. The latest it's ever
Yep.
like gone.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a fun one.
It was.
So
It
many good
was.
runs that year.
It was. It was very good. I really liked it too.
Hmm.
And as I said, first time also for me being actually in person there. So
Hmm.
I watched quite a few runs as well. I talked with lots of the runners too, and it was fun.
Yeah, that would have been your like biggest live performance, right? Largest crowd and everything.
Live, yes,
Hmm.
for sure, definitely. Like in person, if you mean.
Yeah, that.
Also, I think online, there were many people. I guess the
Hmm.
RTA in Japan streams these days, I think, have more viewers than GDQ.
Really? Wow.
They, yeah, the event is really growing rapidly, especially online. They have like, I think in my 70 star, they were at like 120K
Holy shit.
viewers online. It was a lot, yeah.
It's all of Japan watch?
Yes, kind
Oh.
of. I don't know, because it's weird, right? Because it's only Japanese audience basically,
Hmm.
and they have such a strong presence in their online viewership for this marathon. Like the in person, the event is much smaller. I think even smaller than ESA. Like the venue itself, like for the in person viewers and stuff. But online, they are extremely big and present. So um, yeah, it's quite intimidating from the other side again. Like so many people watching somehow. Like
Hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
So with like being in a live audience that was that big at GDQ, was it like hard to perform, or was there like too much noise or something?
No, I usually don't have troubles at all with like setup and tech. Usually we find some good solutions with like headphones and all. So I didn't really hear any clapping or so. I had once a tiny bit of problems with tech and setup, but not really from the crowd. That was just tech side. That like I had a bit of audio delay in my Ocarina of Time run at ESA once,
Mm.
um, which was unfortunate. But yeah,
Yeah, audio delays gotta
otherwise,
kill it immediately.
yeah, yeah. It was the one run that had to be mercy killed of mine so far.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, people still enjoyed it. So
That's all that
no, but
matters.
like from the crowd, like usually I have very either what I usually do is I have like in-ear headphones, and then I still put soundproof headphones on top just to like really shut me off.
Hmm.
And also like pressure wise and stuff, I really like to perform at marathons. So
Mm.
I actually feel like I'm much calmer and more collected when I run at marathons than like when I just stream, because on
Mm.
stream I have to talk, I have to keep the people entertained, I
Hmm.
need to like and there I usually have commentators and I can just literally be quiet and play.
Yeah.
So I usually don't have much pressure from marathons besides like the first split or so, but then it usually gets into really calm and cozy gaming for me.
Hmm. I know people usually get stressed at the very start and then start to calm down, but I gotta think
Yeah.
for like everyone else, they'll be more nervous there on average than at home. I
Yeah,
guess you're in
yeah.
a unique situation where you're blind anyway, so you can't see the
Yeah, yeah,
people, and you don't
yeah.
even, yeah, you don't have to talk. You have people doing that for you.
Yeah, no, I very much like running at marathons. It gives me a very like calming vibe. It's very relaxing.
And then you can finish the run, take off all your stuff, and are
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, there's like 100,000 people watching me right now.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
you don't have to worry about that in the moment. Just
No, no, no.
yeah. Um, do you do visual runs at all?
Um, not really.
Yeah.
No. Um, like I did in the past a few, especially of Kingdom Hearts. Like okay, like do I did runs of like multiple games in the past visually and like also grinded them quite a bit, but never as like long as I did with blindfolded and stuff. It was mostly just like as a hobby and like learn new stuff. Um, but because I did so many games also blindfolded, I like really know deep dive all the speedrun routes of many games and many communities and stuff. So if I would really want to, I could probably get a pretty good time in many games pretty fast. It's also what we said in SM64. Like it's always a meme that like, hey, Bubs, I cannot play visually and stuff. Um, because yeah, my gameplay is weird when I play visually. It looks very like with normalized movement filled and stuff. But I'm pretty sure I could get a pretty good time in very short. Like I did it with 16 star once. I think I practiced for one day and I got a 18-minute time or so when
Mm.
I actually like practiced the speedrun strats. Um, because I did runs before that where I got like I never got a sub 20 visually. I just like because I just without like learning the strats, just like on stream after blindfolded tried to do like a 16-star run with eyes. But I had always like a 21, 22 time or so. And that was always the meme that like I'm blindfolded kind of faster than visually. But then when I sat down for one day and actually learned the strats, I got like an 18, which is like not that bad, I would say.
It's my PB. I'd
Yeah.
like to think it's
So
pretty okay.
yeah, it's definitely like 18 is a good time. So I think if I would spend more time, I could get there. Just I'm not that interested. Like
Hmm.
my thing is to do the blindfolded stuff. So
Yeah. Okay.
maybe one day just for fun.
Hmm.
I would really enjoy probably grinding 120 or so for a bit visually. Just yeah, that's the other thing. If you start grinding visually 120, then you will again have no time for any other thing. So for a while at least. But yeah,
Yeah.
maybe I think in the future I want to do something like this, like at least how see how far I can get in a short while or so.
Hmm. Yeah, it makes
But
sense.
yeah, that's like the extension of my visual runs.
That's fair enough. Yeah, you do what you enjoy doing. That's
Yeah,
what's
yeah,
always most important. And if that involves never seeing the game you're playing, go for it.
yeah.
Um,
Yep.
so I know we've touched on a lot of games you run, but is there anything else? Like, it doesn't have to be like super, like, oh, I'm super proud of this. If it's just like some funny thing to just any other notable runs you've done.
Mm. There's always the good old how's it called? Barney's hide and seek, any percent, no
Ah,
controller,
no
blindfolded.
controller, of course.
I am proud world record holder of that category.
I've heard great things
Yeah,
about that run.
it's very fun. You just start the game, don't have a controller plugged in, and it will finish
Hmm.
most likely in always the same time. But there's RNG to how much time you can lose. So fun. And I did it blindfolded once for the true. I still need to do
World
the
first.
Barney. Yeah, world first, exactly. I still need to do the world first. Barney's hide and seek, any percent no controller, blindfolded, no audio run. That will be the next hit.
Oh
Yeah.
man, that's got to be a hard addition to such a difficult run there.
Yeah. No, but as I said, I like to do kind of these meme runs as well because very often these meme runs are actually good blindfolded runs and they are fun.
Hmm.
Did lots of SM64 ROM hacks these days as well, blindfolded. Um, yeah, Cookie Clicker was a very actually like it sounds like a meme run. Raid Shadow Legends, I also did blindfolded in one of my sponsorships. Uh, the tutorial percent, and again, like it sounds like absolute memes, but both of these runs had actually a very interesting tech in it for blindfolded because it involves the mouse and mouse movement on the desktop. So we had to like normalize the position of the mouse, like normalize the corner, beat count to the left on like lowest sensitivity and stuff. So I really enjoyed these runs actually. And the last few things, Breath of the Wild, I did for quite a long time. Didn't enjoy it as much as I wanted to, I think. I
Mm.
don't know. It felt like I got into all of these marathons with it and I got like very lots of PBs and all. But somehow I never really got too invested in the game. It was more like always the cool blindfolded run that everyone likes. Um, but yeah, right now I'm working on Dark Souls, which I got the world
Mm.
first a couple of days ago.
Oh wow, very recent.
Yeah, yeah, it was last Saturday actually.
Mm. Wow.
So
Mm.
now my
We
focus is on Dark Souls, kind of, at
wait.
least partially.
Last Saturday isn't yesterday or a week ago?
No, a week ago. A week ago.
Okay. I was gonna say like,
Yeah.
damn, super recent.
Yeah. No, but again, I really enjoyed routing the run. Running the run so far has been absolute pain.
Mm.
I mean, I said it to my chat as well, but who would have expected blindfolded Dark Souls will be hard and painful?
I
Um,
can't believe it.
yeah. No. But I do believe with some optimizations it will be a really cool run, and um, I will definitely optimize it in the next few weeks. That's one of my highlights. But also, I really like the game myself, so it's like a personal kind of project of mine.
Mhm.
And yeah, besides that, what's going on right now is lots of Mario Wonder is happening.
I
I did
just
the
beat it yesterday. 100%, I
yeah.
mean.
Okay, I still have not played past World One, but I have blindfolded World
Okay.
One.
Okay. Fair enough.
It was kind of very funny because the game released, I just started playing like on stream the World One, and then we just routed the run instantly. So I still haven't seen anything past World One, but
Well, I
I
won't say
heard,
anything.
yeah, no, I definitely don't want spoilers and all, but I've heard already that there are being skips found and stuff for like the first three worlds now,
Oh, that game is
which
developing quickly.
yeah, I believe so. And the thing is, I wasn't really interested in any percent. I'm like I have not really ever done like big 2D games. But World One was kind of cool, I would say. But I definitely would not think to do any percent because it's such a long run, so many stages you need to memorize.
Hmm.
Um, but now that I hear like you can skip three worlds and then probably some stages and stuff, I'm getting more and more interested. I have to admit, just to try something new again, like a new genre for me. But we'll see. I definitely don't want to make promises with that. I will continue to push my World One downtime. Maybe I will continue playing it casually first, and then see if I want to do World Two maybe as well. So I don't know.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Also,
Crazy what I've
Oh
seen
yeah,
on
Ocarina
Twitter.
of Time. I also have quite a few projects still that I want to do.
Mm.
There's always new developments in Ocarina of Time as well.
I feel like that's a game you get a lot of consistent movement and stuff in.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't
Yeah,
know the game all
I
too
don't
well,
know.
honestly, but
Yeah, I don't know how I skipped over it, but Ocarina of Time was also a big part, of course, in my whole journey. I got the world first any percent run
mm.
with the wrong warp and all, and then grinded
Ooh.
it with Saver together, and then new routes, and then another new route, and like Ocarina of Time was a long part of my story too.
When you
Yeah, and
say
Breath
any
of the Wild as well.
percent,
Mhm.
what for the first completion? What because there's so many any percents in that game. What did it mean in
Yeah.
that context?
The classic OG any percent from
Okay,
the good old times when people did
like
the
Ganondorf and
like
everything.
Ganondorf,
Okay, got
wrong
it,
warp from Deku Tree to Ganon, and then fight Ganon and do the escape and all.
got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was the first one. Then collapse skip was found as well. I also did collapse skip in my runs. Um, Gim is one thing we still need to implement. The crazy bottle skip
Mm.
and any percent with this crazy arbitrary code execution also has been done blindfolded.
Oh wow.
Um, and I did also attempt it myself quite recently, I think like 2 weeks ago. But I don't know what happened, but I somehow just stopped. I should get back to that. I was like literally doing attempts every day, and then I stopped for some reason. I think because Dark Souls I
Mhm.
started doing,
It's always
and I
Dark
just
Souls'
forgot
fault,
about.
huh?
Yeah, I somehow forgot about that run, but yeah, I should finish that project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. I don't know much about that game, honestly, which is
Mm,
weird because everyone knows everything about that game. So, I mean,
yeah.
I'm the weird one here, but
You know,
like
Ocarina of Time has a big history for sure.
mm,
Like, it's a big game.
but yeah, I know it's like current any percent is like some sort of arbitrary code execution malarkey, whatever.
Yeah, it's very crazy shamanism going on.
Yeah. How hard is that to do blindfolded?
Pretty difficult. It's
Mhm.
like not that difficult, I would say, but um, there are multiple instances in the run where you need to just hit a frame perfect trick,
Mm.
and anything that you mess up in that run, you cannot really back up anything because you will mess up the heap setup for the memory and all.
Mm-hmm.
So you just need to really get lucky with one run where you don't make any mistakes. But it's a very short run. Like I think it's a 6 or 5 minute run, even blindfolded. So it's not bad to reset at all. It just gets frustrating very fast because none of the attempts work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Any percent is also very painful, by the way. Like the OG any percent to
Mm.
defeat Ganon, because most of these tricks you could pause buffer in visual speedruns,
Mm-hmm.
but blindfolded, it's kind of just hit the right frame.
Hmm.
So there's multiple frame perfect just instances. If you mess up, then it's over. And there's lots of RNG, yeah, because we cannot get the bottle like in the hands in Kakariko. Wait, how's the village called? Yeah. Anyways, you
Yeah.
can get bottles multiple ways. Gim, we don't have a setup yet. Maybe soon we have, but not yet. We cannot glitch the bottle. The second bottle that usually people would get in visual speedruns is in the village by collecting the hands. Um, I guess you would understand that collecting running around hands in a village, 5 or 6 at the same time, blindfolded, is not a good idea. They are running around randomly. You have no idea where they are. You will lose track of where you are. And uh, the next bottle that we get in blindfolded, which is the biggest time loss in the run right now, we go all the way across Hyrule to go fishing for the gold scale, and then with the gold scale, we get the bottle with Ruto's letter. Then we do the Ruto's letter side quest to empty the bottle, and then we have a bottle. And fishing in Ocarina of Time is pain.
Mm.
Even visually, 100% runners hate fishing with all of their heart. because the fish has a fixed amount of chance to just let go of the rod and disappear.
Hmm.
And that combined with being blindfolded means that in the run we have, I think, 2 attempts with the rupee count because you have only a specific amount of rupees to retry the game. You need to catch the fish. The fish has also RNG to not bite at all, which loses like a minute each time.
Hmm.
And he can bite, like you can just throw there for multiple minutes, no fish, and then you grab him and he escapes randomly. It's instant reset. Like it's a
Hmm.
RNG hell, like a really, really heavy RNG gateway right in the run. Like 10 minutes in. So you play for 10 minutes, RNG hell, 10 minutes, RNG hell. It's like a horrible run.
Yeah, that does not
And
sound fun.
right after fishing comes another glitch, quick put away, which is one of the good old one framers that I told you without buffering.
Hmm.
So you have an audio cue, you listen for it, try to hit one frame. If you don't hit it on world record pace, it's over. So good luck having good fishing, perfect frame,
Hmm.
perfect input, and then do all the wrong warp and fight and everything perfectly too. Like it's a rough category.
Good thing that game only runs at like 5 FPS, right?
Yeah.
But yeah,
Very true.
how long is the like defeat Ganon blindfolded run?
Very short. The world record right now is I think 20 minutes.
Isn't like world
21.
record with sight like 16?
Yes.
Wow,
Yes, it
okay.
is. It's very, very optimized. Because like OOT's movement is pretty much the same blindfolded as visually. Like you do side
Yeah.
hops, which is the fastest movement option. Back walks is the fastest movement. It's just like the time you lose is mostly from setting up angles and setups and us getting the bottle instead of the hands
Hmm.
or like Gim. 26 is the blindfolded record. Yeah. So like
Okay.
10 minutes we lose compared to visual. Um, yeah.
Oh,
But
it is.
it
Oh,
is
it's a
definitely
lot
still
shorter than I thought.
improvable.
Okay. Never mind.
13, but that's with Gim and all, I
Hmm.
assume. It's not the OG route with the hands.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm trying to like again, my
I think there
knowledge with
was a,
this is
I
limited,
think
but
like 17, sub 17 was the last barrier with the hand route or not. I'm not
I think that's
sure.
what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. It was a long time ago.
Hmm. Yeah. So I don't know what the that other thing is then.
Mm,
I,
yeah.
again, knowledge. I don't fucking know, but just
So yeah, right now there is just the plans like to improve the blindfolded route. If we could do this gim, what I said, it's like a glitch to get the bottle inside the decker tree with like a memory manipulation
mm,
thing, which yeah is the sub 13 visually. That it looks very doable blindfolded. Just requires 2 or 3 more frame perfect inputs back to back. So also painful, but at least that would shift all the craziness to the very beginning of the run.
mm-hmm.
So it could be retried, and it would obsolete the entire fishing RNG. So we would not need to do that. So that's kind of the holy grail we are searching right now still. Um,
Yeah,
and I
that makes
think
sense.
there should be it should be doable. Like I did also lots of research on it. Maybe next year we will see a run like that.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, anything to get rid of RNG. I hate RNG,
Mm,
so
yeah, absolutely.
big fan of that.
Absolutely.
Well, that's cool. So I was gonna ask something a while ago, but I forgot, so never mind. See, speaking of like having good memory, but anyway, is that everything? Oh no, I remember now because you said like cookie clicker or something, and that
Oh yeah,
requires like a
yeah,
mouse and stuff.
yeah.
Like, how do you normalize mice?
Yeah, the cookie clicker speedrun is actually one of the most interesting I think that I did. Um, so yeah, cookie clicker has two main mechanics for those who don't know the game. You have a big cookie on the left side, and then on the right side of the screen you can buy upgrades to make like faster progress, like make the clicking stronger. And yeah, there is no hotkeys in the game. You cannot do any hotkeys and stuff. So what I did is, I think the setup was more impressive than the entire run, honestly. So I bought a graphic tablet to draw, and I mapped it full scale onto my monitor. So the entire graphic tablet was the size of like my monitor. If I was in this corner, I was top left on my desktop. Then I took duct tape and basically cut it edges on and like glued it onto the graphic tablet. And I knew like if I notch in between these two duct tape corners, I am on this upgrade. And then there was another corner for the other upgrade. And then this corner here with the duct tape was the cookie. And then I basically with my graphic stick like went from corner to corner and like normalized on the graphic tablet because it corresponded like positions on the desktop. And then like I moved with the tablet, and then I had the second mouse plugged into my PC, which I taped off the laser so it doesn't move. And then on that mouse, I clicked because cookie clicker you need to click a million times. That's the goal of the speedrun.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I had like the craziest setup ever, and then I did like this super meme run, and I really liked it because of that. It was like very creative to figure out.
I respect the amount of dedication to such a joke.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
it was fun. It was a good time.
that's interesting that you can. I like the idea of using that kind of tablet thing. That makes sense.
Yeah,
On
it
like,
definitely like I didn't come across many more like games that really require mouse position in like static points, but it's definitely a viable setup now for the future if anyone wants to try stuff like that.
hmm, it's just so silly.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, that's funny though. Um,
Yeah, it does work. There are only very very few runs actually blindfolded done that require like mouse inputs. I
mhm,
think. I mean, I guess it's obvious why. Like mouse is so unnormalized. It's such a yeah, such a
mhm.
sensitive input tool.
You need
So
to see to use one, really.
yeah,
It
exactly.
wasn't meant for what you're doing.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, that's funny. Any other noteworthy speedruns you've done,
Mm,
or something unique like that that
yeah,
required
I'm
some
thinking
wacky
about it.
bullshit? Because that was funny.
There was, I think, also in the same kind of meme era because I did like some streams where I just like beat like 10 meme games blindfolded or so.
Hmm.
There was one I really liked, which was Memory on Game Boy Advance, like the classic Memory where you have to put two cards of the same
Mm,
upwards.
yeah.
And it was 20 cards, so it's like a pretty small grid. And the strat was literally like a brute force algorithm. You just open the first, open the second, open the first, open the third, open the first, open the fourth. And it was just
Yeah.
like 20 minutes of me performing the same inputs over and over until I got like all the cards.
World
So it's a very
first, baby.
yeah, it's really stupid run, but oh yeah, Ring Fit Adventure, actually really cool blindfolded run. I actually truly believe that this was a cool run. It's not even a meme, but
Mm,
the blindfolded Ring Fit, the speed like I don't know if many people know, but at least in Japan, it's a very popular speed game.
mm,
Ring Fit Adventure. They have a big community, and um, basically how it works is the faster you work out, or like you have this ring and you need to like work out and press it, and you can do that during running and all. And every time you press, you gain one exp, so you can like hardcore level up even in the first stage by absolutely mashing like the thing and like getting super hardcore tired. And you get like you can like level up very quickly like that. So what the world record does is it does the first stage twice to just farm exp super hard, unlock like a stronger attack with like higher level, and then continue with the run to beat like the boss much quicker with the new attacks. And yeah, I did all of that blindfolded. It
mm.
was also very jank setup. Like it's very hard to like move on the spot and do workout while blindfolded without like losing orientation and like how you not fall down and all. um
Yeah.
so I turned very often away from the cam and like hit my table or something.
Hmm.
It happened. but yeah, you could apply the same techniques. You could beat count like where you need to jump. You could like use all your cues and like menuing. There was everything inside. It was a really cool run.
Mhm.
I liked it.
Definitely unique. Sounds.
Definitely, yeah.
Reminds me of like VR because you can't like see the world
Mm.
around you when you're in your headset, so you're gonna smack something at some point.
Yes, yes, it's similar for sure. Speaking of VR, I really want to try a VR blindfolded run,
Mm,
but I don't have a system here, and I don't think it's a good idea to be honest. So maybe in
maybe.
the future eventually, but I think it's a cool idea as well.
That would definitely be
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah, like because VR is like fully built for your visuals, kind of,
Hmm.
and if you then take away these visuals and still manage to somehow go through the game, I think it's a cool approach.
Yeah. That- it's funny to think like if you could somehow like use it without the headset even being on. So it'd be
Yeah.
like, but it would still sense the movements and act like it was on, but it just wasn't on.
Yes,
That'd be the
yes.
same thing, technically. But
Yeah, I think it's really cool if someone would investigate that more.
but as it stands, you just put on the blindfold and then put on a headset.
Yeah.
It's so silly.
Would be quite funny.
Silly, but good content, I'm sure. And
Yeah, for sure.
that's what's important. All
That
right,
is
well,
true.
I'm curious what I know you've talked about some future ideas, but
Hmm.
do you have like long time goals or any other silly what any future
Yeah,
plans you can think of?
yeah, I have like that's my problem. I have too many projects that I want to
Mm,
do.
I
I, I,
feel
I
that.
will I definitely will never finish my list. I know that already, so I kind of given up.
Mm,
Uh, but yeah, I have tons of games I want to blindfold. I have lots of plans with the SM64 still. As I said, right now the main goals is Dark Souls to improve that a lot. Um, maybe Mario Wonder and all. It also always depends because my blindfolded project takes so long
mm-hmm.
uh, that while I route a game, like 3 new projects come as a new idea already, or like new game releases like Mario Wonder now, and suddenly are interesting. Um, so it's hard, but I really would like to. Um, there's lots of things. There's so many things I want to do. No, because there are also many runs that have already been done and really
Mm,
optimized, and I just want to like do a lot of runs to see like more genres and get more experience. For example, like SMB or like Super Mario Bros. Also Super
mm-hmm.
Mario World. Both have highly optimized speedruns already blindfolded.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which I have never tried, and they are not so long. They are like 12 minutes in Super Mario World, and I think SMP blindfolded is right now at 6,
519.
5. Okay, yeah.
I
So
can't believe the blindfolded Mario one
yeah,
run at this
it's
point.
crazy.
It
Yeah,
is 25 seconds slower than the world record. The site.
yeah, it is crazy. It
I
is crazy.
and I thought it was insane when it was like 8 minutes or more than that, like almost 10 minutes
Yeah.
slower.
No, so I'm very interested to just like try and just like finish a run. Not even to try to compete for records, just like try to finish a run and see. And there are
Mm-hmm.
many runs out there that are like that, where there is already a route, which maybe is good because I wouldn't need to spend so much time learning and routing everything myself. I could just like take something from the others and then like learn it for my own. So I'm interested in lots of these runs. Um, my projects that I always wanted to do but never came to, I can list a few just like randomly. Mario Odyssey, I wanted to do any percent. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to do Metal Gear Solid series runs, mostly Metal Gear Solid 3. Um, yeah, Dark Souls 3 was also high on my list, but then I somehow decided to do Dark Souls 1 instead, and now I have my doubts if I want to do Dark Souls 3. um, but yeah, for the whole From Software series, like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Sekiro has been blindfolded, Elden Ring has been blindfolded. Now I blindfolded Dark Souls 1. So potentially, if enough work is done, Dark Souls 2 and 3, and then do the God Run, all games back to back blindfolded, it would be the hugest achievement ever.
Oh my god.
Because there's like the same thing that people do with hitless runs, like hitless Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Elden Ring, Sekiro, Demon Souls, Bloodborne. I don't know what else there is, but yeah, like a God Run like this blindfolded, that would be absolutely. I think that would be one thing that is topping the 120 star. And yeah, we are 3 out of 5 games for the beginning of such runs, so maybe
Almost
one
there.
day. Yeah. Yeah, I'm very interested in Ocarina of Time. I have much projects. Also, like the non super short categories, but actually doing like dungeons, like I don't know, all main dungeons. Tears of the Kingdom, any percent. I honestly am not that interested, but it's currently being worked on. And since I have done blindfolded Breath of the Wild, I think people expect me to also check Tears of the Kingdom out. But we'll see.
HDDQ 2024 incoming.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's so much. I had like Pokemon games. I wanted to Pokemon Emerald once, but then I always remember how much pain Pokemon Red was. But then I also imagine maybe I was just bad at the time. Maybe if I tried now, I would be much better and easier, and I would learn super fast.
Guess you don't know unless you try, right?
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so many projects. I really have a whole spreadsheet, I think, for only projects that I wanted to do once.
Yeah, it's hard to find the time to do. I can't even imagine like with the amount of time you have to spend to
Yeah,
learn
yeah,
things
yeah.
blindfolded. That takes like
It
what I'm
is.
thinking and multiplies it by like 20, so, and the amount of time you need. But
Yeah,
I can only
that's the
relate
problem.
in the sense that there's a lot of games I want to run and don't know if I'll ever get to.
Yep. It's probably similar.
The speedrunner's dilemma right there. Like, oh, I want
Yeah.
to run 20 games, but I keep playing the same fucking one over and over again.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know why it is like, and for me, that's definitely the Mario 64 curse. Like, I cannot get away from the game. It seems like I play 5 days of a different game, and I'm already thinking, like, oh, I have a new idea for an optimization in this stage. So like,
Yep, that's how it goes.
just happens.
Well, I'm running out of things to ask. I think
Okay.
we've gotten like your full history, right? I haven't like missed
Yeah,
anything important
I
out of
think
there.
so. I think so. We
Yeah,
talked
just want to make
about
sure I
pretty
didn't
much
miss anything
everything.
important. So
No. I think we got most of it. Oh yeah, one more fun
oh
run I see now on my list. If you want to hear it,
yes.
and unironically, it was, I think, one of my favorite streams today. I don't know why, and I think nobody knows why, but it was so cool. I did a ROM hack blindfolded called Desert Mario 64, which I don't know if you know Desert Bus. It's this
Oh, okay.
weird game where you have to drive the bus for like 8 hours.
Penn and
And
Teller's Smoke and Mirrors for Genesis or Sega CD.
yeah,
Yeah.
and there's a ROM hack for SM64 which does exactly that. You have to walk down a road for approximately 8 hours. And the fun thing is, if you stop, because the desert is hot, you start taking damage. So you have to be on the seat for 8 hours without stopping. You need to keep jumping and walking up, otherwise you will die and you have to redo it.
And
And I did that
if you
blind.
go off course, do you also get taken back too?
Yes, there are like invisible walls, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
literally a straight road. Like you cannot really go off course.
That's fair.
But yeah, I did that ROM hack blindfolded and prepped for my 120 run just to like prep my stamina of being blindfolded and all. And it was literally 8 hours of holding straight up and jumping and talking nonsense to chat. And
Yep.
it was the best stream in my life. It was so cool, dude.
Hell yeah.
I don't know. It was just like such a enlightening experience. I don't know, like you just sit there for 8 hours for yourself, like blindfolded. Like it's such a
Mhm.
like meditating state you get into.
That is interesting.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. I really enjoyed that run. Like it was painful and all, but looking back, it was like so cool.
Interesting. I knew the
Yeah.
original game, like you're driving a bus, and I know
Mhm.
they like make it tilt to the right, so you have to keep like or
Yeah,
it keeps
exactly,
tilting, so you got to
exactly.
correct it, and that's why you can't just hold straight. You have to. So I didn't know if the Mario 64 did something similar to that.
Yeah, no, I
No.
think that's what they implemented with this burn mechanic that you start taking damage if you don't jump, at least.
Mm-hmm. But you
Um,
can at least hold straight. That you couldn't do
yeah,
that in the
exactly.
original game. Okay.
Yeah, that would be amazing if you suddenly like go off road after 7 hours and then
Restart.
rip.
Yep. That would suck. So, well, at least they didn't do that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've definitely heard of that hack, and I know about Desert Bus, so that's
Yeah,
funny
yeah.
that that's
So I
the
think
huge
there's
meme thing, like
it is,
sub
it
goal,
is.
whatever, just up or donation thing up Desert Bus time.
Yeah. No,
Oh,
but
that's
I,
funny.
as I said, unironically really enjoyed it. Like
I mean,
maybe it
you
was due to the blindfold, but
probably enjoyed Desert Bus more than anyone ever has. So there you go.
yeah.
All
Yeah, yeah.
right. I will come up with a couple. By the way, if there's any more questions in chat, oh, there is one actually right now.
Hmm.
Have you gotten distracted if someone comes into your room in the middle of a run?
Not really. Like not by person. There were some instances where people came and like waved in front of my hand if I was like in a semi-public. I did like some runs where I was in like a hotel lobby, for example. um, but not really distracted. No, I usually have very just like full audio and headphones, so I don't really realize what's going on around me. Um, that brings me to another fun topic, though, if you want.
Yeah.
Um, it happened multiple times that something in the setup failed, and like either my console crashed mid run or like OBS crashed and I kept running without being streaming anymore. I
Mm.
think that's kind of similar as a distraction, or like the biggest distraction I had is um, I was doing Kingdom Hearts speedruns, and there was a storm outside, and literally while I was blindfolded, my window broke and it rained into my apartment, and it was like suddenly like super loud. Like, what the fuck is this? And I took like my headphone off, and I was like like rain sounds, and I was like so confused. I took the blindfold off, and there's like water in my apartment.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now that's an
So
unexpected instance. Jeez.
there were some distractions like that, but not really person. No.
Hmm.
Lots
Wow.
of doorbells ringing every stream when I'm blindfolded. Uh, yeah. Very often I forget to turn on the audio on my stream, and after 3 hours of blindfolded runs, I open my eyes to chat. Everyone is like, "You are muted," or like, "The game is muted, you
Mm.
idiot." Um,
It's like, well.
yeah, yeah. Or you forgot to record. It's also classic.
Mm. Yep.
Um, in Pokemon, my first Pokemon completion actually, I did on a laptop on an emulator, and I forgot to plug the power supply into the laptop. And
Mm.
mid run, I think like an hour in, like suddenly everything started lagging super hard, and I like, what is going on? And I figured it out while blindfolded. Like I checked like on the laptop on the side, is the power in? And it was not there. So I like searched blindfolded in like my cables on the desk, and like I found it and like fixed it. But like the CPU was slowly dying because the power was like off.
That's
And
incredible.
it started like lagging super hard. Yeah.
Wow. uh,
Console crashes. Yeah.
yeah. The silly things that can happen because you can't see.
Yeah. 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 There's
They
many of them.
gotta make for hilarious stories.
Yep.
So.
PS4 controller battery turning off mid run.
Mm.
So I hate playing with Bluetooth since then. Always wired controllers.
Mm. Yep. Makes sense.
My cat pushing down the controller from my desk, and then I cannot find it. Killed some runs.
Wait. Wait. What?
Yeah, in Breath of the Wild, because I use like two controllers where I need to switch, one with notches and one for like amiibos.
Okay.
And yeah, the one controller is like idling on the desk, and my cat like pushed it down, and then I could not find it anymore off the floor, and then the run is dead after an hour.
Well,
um,
that's
what
so
else?
wild.
Yeah, my cat very often splitting, uh, walking on my keyboard, hitting the splits. All these, there are so many things in blindfolded that you cannot control.
Yeah, makes sense. I see more and more why you're more comfortable on a stage where none of this
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
can
right.
happen to you.
Everything is handled for you. You have a good setup.
That's good.
Yeah.
So, do you like do you watch a lot of Twitch? Do you like watching speedruns that aren't blindfolded?
Yeah, like I definitely am in many communities, like especially as I said, like I'm in like so many communities at this point. I did like so many different games and like have so many little circles. um there are many people I like check in. I don't really have much time to watch. I am not like a super, how do you say, like a big watcher.
Mm-hmm.
Because yeah, I just stream, and then I don't really have time to watch much, but I very often stream lurk in some channels, so they're just like not actively, just lurking around. Um, so I'm checking in here and there, but not that active, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, makes sense. Um, well, it sounds like we're coming to a wrapping up point. So,
Mhm.
one more thing though, and again, if you can think of anything, go ahead. But the blindfolded speedrunning website. I know we
Mhm.
touched on it a little bit, but maybe you can like explain where people can find it, what exactly it is, if they're interested in learning more about blindfold speedrunning.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a community website called blindfoldedgaming.com. And if you ever have any game that you're interested in, or like if you want to just see if your game that you are interested in has been blindfolded before, this is definitely the place to go. You can check all the runs that are being verified by us. We verify like all the runs that are up there, with this very small team. Currently, we are very behind with submissions because we are three people doing this work, and there are more and more submissions every time. So kind of need to figure that out soon. But yeah, just go to the game section, hit in the search word whatever game you want, and there's a high chance there is a blindfolded run, or at least like an individual level or a segment or so of it. Then you can try to look at that. And there's also a link to our Discord where all the discussion about all the games. If you have any questions about anything, the Discord is probably the way to go. There's a big redirect from the website as well from to this Discord. That's where we all are. And yeah, this website is basically just like a little hub to see everything and like to archive also the runs that have been done and have not been done. It's our little speedrun.com if you want.
Yep. I'll be sure to leave a link in the YouTube description as well.
Yes,
So
thank you very much.
yes, I'll make sure to get that. Speaking of leaving links to things, though, feel free to self promote to your liking for you
Aha.
now. And if there's, again, any questions in chat, go ahead and ask them now if you want.
Yeah, no, like you can probably see on the overlay as well, like Twitch, YouTube, Twitter. I'm very, very active on Twitch. I stream like 5 days a week usually, on the weekdays. And YouTube, I am putting more and more effort into actually editing stuff as well. And all my PBs are there. So if you're interested in any videos, I would appreciate any view on my things there. Probably interesting if you are into blindfolded stuff.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. Otherwise, Twitter, I post my PBs and stuff. That's about it, I think.
And again, all links will be in the description. So, well, I think we can end it out here. Looks like we've got everything. Oh, we got a question here. Opinion on the L is real theory. Very important question here.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know. I'm kind of a Mario guy, I have to say. So
Mm,
I think it might be not real. I
Oh
am sorry
no,
to say.
unfortunate. Well, there you go.
Oh no.
Oh no, the controversy. What a way to go out.
Instantly Reddit drama activated.
All right. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for watching. If you're watching here on Twitch, I will upload the video later tonight. If you're watching on YouTube, I stream these on Twitch. Watch each other. That's how it goes. And yeah, I think that'll do it. So again, thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next episode. Have a good one. See
Thank you
ya.
very much. Bye.
Bye bye.